Live doing it. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Lord Master Starscream. And today, there's gonna be a new series going on, and it's gonna be a rotation. And so we're gonna be talking about the true stories of the supernatural. And this is episode 1, and we already have a ghost hunter, which is Autocorrect Primer.
Where? Who?
Or,
What?
yeah, you Autocorrect Primer, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Hey, I'm actually looking forward to this. We we talked about this a little bit, and I think this is what we were saying. We kind of do it as a rotation, so it's going to be on his this time this week, and then we will set up another time for Baby Mahal's time, and she wants to do it during the day, which I totally understand why she wants to do it during the day, and so we will do that also.
Because I'm a big, giant, scaredy cat.
Well, you're also sensitive to some things too.
I'm very sensitive.
Yeah. So
Lord Master Starscream doesn't know that about me. Not very sensitive, but I am a sensitive.
Yeah, and I'm now spilling all my M&Ms on my desk.
Thanks for wasting your M&Ms.
Right.
If my kids saw that, they'd be cleaning it up off of your desk. Now, Otto, could you go ahead and I don't know how to really explain it. And then one of my coworkers, who's also a sensitive, she's told me that I've explained some stuff, and she said that sounds like the dreams that I have are medium type, like I could be a medium. Now, can you explain to Lord Master Starscream and everybody else what a sensitive and a medium?
Yes, I can. Now, a medium is someone that is able to get. They can get feelings of the future events, and it's like a ripple in time. And for people that's like that, it's like being in the ocean, and you're standing there, and a wave comes up and hits you, and you know that it's a wave because you're in the ocean. But a sensitive will be able to know that they're in the ocean. They'll know where the wave is coming from, and they'll know they'll have a little bit more understanding of what is transpiring from those. A sensitive, though, on the other hand, is someone that will have a supernatural event, because I'm also a sensitive. I'm also known as what is known as a shining, and in Native American cultures is where you see shimmers, and a shimmer is where you can see the shadows, you can see entities. Sometimes you can actually see physical impressions of people that have passed or spirits.
Something's behind me. Oh my god!
Hey, little booger, telling you.
Now I'm telling you, did I tell you guys what happened to me one night, like a couple weeks back when I was streaming?
Sure that.
Somebody walked right here, like out of my peripheral vision. Someone just like, and it stopped right here.
Oh, I remember this.
I told you, right? Did I tell you?
Yeah, I remember this.
Yeah.
And see, you'll get more of that where we live because of the thunderstorms and the history that's in the areas that we live. Where we're going to be moving to has a very high paranormal activity there, and but I know how to do certain things to and make sure those things get closed off and stuff like that too.
Did you know that was the first thing I kept on thinking about when we moved here, is because we bought the house sight unseen, and I was like, what if we built the house on like some kind of, because my dumbass was like, our house or our neighbor is like 2 houses down like away, so we don't have immediate neighbors, but we do. There's still a good decent space, but not like yours. Like I thought I was gonna have a neighbor like a good distance, and I was like, what if my house is haunted? What if? But yeah, I do believe on that.
You can have houses haunted. You can also have land haunted.
Mm-hmm.
What's that, Sweet Pea? Objects being haunted and stuff like that. Now, and furniture. Now I'll explain a little bit. I'll give a little small backstory of what why I am now a demonologist and what the difference of that is from being a ghost hunter or someone that believes in ghosts. I was not always a Christian, and so with that, I didn't believe or see the world in the way that a Christian would see it. But when I where we used to live when I was a kid. My grandfather had purchased this area, this place of land with a little creek behind it. And everyone there had a spirit or an entity, which I called the man in black. He looked like a Quaker. And he would come in and he would tell me things and talk to me and tell me things that was happening. Well, I didn't know at the time also that my biological father was into Satanism. And so my mom, who was raised a Christian, the reason why I didn't believe the way my mom did is because I was told that, hey, can you kids hear me? Hey, Babe Hall, can you kids hear me?
No.
I can hear you.
All right, I will make sure they don't hear this part. For me, I was told that Santa Claus wasn't real. So when that happened, and I'm living in a house that has these events taking place, and my mom wants to ignore them as if they don't happen because Christians don't believe in ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so, but my biological father was practicing things to bring things and conjure things. I was his firstborn child, and with that, there was things that went along with that. And so for me, I was getting this. Okay, you're telling me what I'm seeing with my eyes, feeling is not real. That's make believe. But yet Santa Claus is not real now. But yet he brings me toys once a year, and the other guy that's telling me is real is watching me just like Santa Claus watches me, but he doesn't give me any damn toys. Then how can you I can't believe with your ideology. I can't believe how you were. And so for me, it cut me off from religion. Organized religion is the worst thing to ever happen to Christianity, because when it became organized, it became controlled and became masculine, and it became overzealous side. And with me also being part Native American, Sioux, and also Cherokee, I started going down the path and looking into my heritage, because I knew my heritage believed in spirits and believed. So when I gravitated to that. Now, it took me getting sick with cancer and having what I call the Jesus moment, where I died. I can no longer deny that Jesus Christ doesn't exist, because for me, and what happened to me being diagnosed with cancer, and it let me know immediately that there is an afterlife, and that there is an individual that's in that afterlife that does look at us and looks to see, not to browbeat us, not to sit there and beat us up, but is there to help us. And when you have that understanding and you realize that organized religion tells you that, hey, if you do this, you're going to go to hell. If you do this, you're going to go to hell. And then I actually started reading the Bible for myself and realized you're not supposed to tell anyone that they're going to hell. That actually telling someone that you're going to go to hell means you've already passed judgment, which makes you equal with the Creator. And I thought was interesting, because my Cherokee side, dealing with the name of God, is the same as the Israelites. The Great Spirit that we call the Great Spirit is Yah, is also the real name of the Creator God. The Jewish, which Christianity, Jesus Christ comes from, is all the same. Not all roads lead, and I can get into that later. So I tell people, don't ever try to force your beliefs or your religion on someone, because I've helped people that are atheists. I've helped people that are Muslims. I've helped people that are agnostics. I've helped people. But what I do is I go, okay, you're asking for my help, so I'm going to give you the help that I have been taught and what I have learned. And for 40 plus years that I have dealt with the supernatural, and the past 27 years doing it as a researcher, and being able to also go to the ancient text and see that this is happening, I would have Christians say ghosts don't exist, they're wrong, they're all demons. And I was like, well, right there in your own book, which it's my book too, it's the Bible, when Jesus was walking on the water, I said, what does the disciples say Jesus is? He's a ghost. So if ghosts don't exist, And you're telling people in organized religion that ghosts don't exist, but yet you're contradicting what the Bible itself is saying, which you claim is the inherent word of God. That's becoming where you're more about your traditions and what your comfort zones. And then that's where I learned that from there that you have Muslims who have exorcists, and you have Catholics who have exorcists. Matter of fact, from the Benedict monks, I have a cross that has been blessed, and it is a cross and a rosary that is to be used in exorcisms. And so, with that, I learned that with my heritage and the interesting thing is that in my heritage, women are revered as to be honored, and organized religion tears down with women and makes them second rate. And when you get to the actual learning of the scriptures, you realize, wait a second, that's somebody misinterpreting. That's somebody interpreting it themselves. So when we get into ghosts and spirits, you have some people say that all ghosts are demons. You'll have some say that ghost and ghost and demons both exist. Some people will tell you that demons are fallen angels. Some would tell you that evil spirits are fallen angels. That's not true. And I can answer that if you want to. Does anybody else want to ask? I feel like I'm talking too much. Or am I going
anyone have any questions for autocorrect Prima?
Before we go any further, what do y'all think about? Do y'all, Babe Hall and Cognitive, do y'all believe in spirits and ghosts? Okay.
Yeah. I used to go out to this cemetery right where I live. There's this gravestone that's really, really old, and a witch. She was a witch. They killed her because she was they thought she was a witch. And so it's called 13 steps. 13 steps up and 12 steps going down. But it's a very, very old cemetery, and she haunts it, and there's been like stories of like a dog with like red eyes, glowing red eyes or something.
Well, that's a hell hand.
Ooh.
In that
I seen
area.
that.
Yeah.
And whatnot, and I believe in it. I've been there, and I've caught some stuff on videotape on my phone. Every time I go out there at like midnight or whatnot, and whatever. So I believe in it, and I think it's real. And
do you do anything to make sure you don't have an attachment come back with you?
all I say is I say goodbye, and that's I don't know how to go about that or whatever, but as far as I know, I don't have anything attached to me. At least I hope so.
And the reason why I ask that because a lot of people who do ghost
Search
homes,
search for that stuff.
Yeah, there, and we can get into what an attachment is and how that can affect not only you but also other individuals, especially children that's in your life. And I don't tell people ghost hunting is bad. I just say there is a right way to do it, and there's a absolutely wrong way to do it. What about you, Babe Hall? You said you also believed in spirit?
I was chased. I've told you this story where I was chased by a dog.
Yes.
Ever since I was little, I had a thing with open doors. I can't have any open doors. It scares me. It's been a thing. I just don't like seeing something on the other side that's not supposed to be there. Because I've actually, my stepdad actually appeared to me, but I've had this fear since before my stepdad appeared to me inside my closet because I ended up moving into the room that he slept in, but he showed up in the closet and I left the door open. The light was off and it turned on really quick and then it turned back off, just long enough for me to see his silhouette. But ever since I was little, I just started getting these like I don't know. God, my brain is going a million miles a minute. Um, I don't see anything. I sense like if I go into your house and you have a haunted house and I feel scared, I won't come back. If it's strong enough. I told Otto about this me seeing a portal or a doorway into what looked like a different dimension, but it was considered heaven. Another a version or interpretation of heaven, according to Sylvia Brown, who was also she's deceased now, but she was an author of a book. I read her book after I experienced all this stuff, and I was like, bam! I got a little bit of closure after reading that book, and I wish I still had the book. I can't find it, but it's called Life on the Other Side. I mean, yeah, I have a lot of stuff. I was chased by a hellhound because we all wanted to go ghost hunting, and there's a story about this bridge in California, and the farmer killed his daughter or something through a river bridge, and then, of course, the bridge had water underneath it. But at the time we went, there was no water. Maybe a couple puddles here and there, but all of a sudden, I'm sitting in this truck by myself, and I start getting claustrophobic. I don't like being in enclosed places because if I start feeling claustrophobic, I don't feel like I'm alone spiritually because there's I get pressure, like I start suffocating, or I can't explain it. It's like I feel like I'm being I'm crowded. And when this was happening, everyone was out on the bridge. They told the story already, and I was like, I don't feel right. I need to go sit down. And I'm sitting in the back row. I could sense someone sitting in the front seat, turned around, looking at me like that, just staring at me. And I left the truck, and I was like, we need to go. And all of a sudden, you hear a splash. There's no water. There's no water. So everybody runs in their car, and they get into the car, and and then all of a sudden we start going, and the car, like an old school truck with dim lights, turns the corner to cross the bridge. We already started taking off, and I was looking behind us the whole way just to see if it was street lights, because we're on a hill, and if it was street lights, you wouldn't be able to see those lights after going over to these hills. Well, the headlights started following us. We were followed about 2 miles, and in between these headlights was a hellhound chasing us. It was the farmer's dog. You could see his orange glowing lights. Anyways.
Well, actually, it's not the farmer's dog. It's actually a hellhound, and I'll explain what that is.
Well, I mean, I always thought it was his dog because he had a dog.
But see, dogs aren't in spirit form. Are not that way.
Well, I thought it was his dog. Well, there was, I guess, because you had told me it was a hellhound, but
yeah,
it was chasing us, and it was between us and the truck.
Yep,
it was but it was, but that was the first occurrence that night, and we went to a Satan worshiping town after that episode, and it was not. I seen orbs, and we walked through a cemetery, and it was just a creepy night. And I never went and did that again. I never, because I didn't want something bad happening to me. I didn't want something to follow me because I am a sensitive. I don't like being in enclosed places because if I'm already like in an elevator by myself and then I start feeling crowded in, I feel like, what if there's something else in here with me because I actually closed my third eye. I can't see anything, but I still get
feelings,
and I still get dreams. So like cognitive, for example, if one day I'm blowing you up and I'm asking you, hey, how are you? Blah, 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 blah. Like out of the blue, because I'm super busy, right? And out of the blue, I'm reaching out to you and I'm trying to talk to you, and because I'm trying to find a way to deliver a message. And I've delivered messages to people before. Like my friend, she's, God rest her soul. She actually committed suicide a couple years ago. I had a dream like 5 or 6 years ago, and I called her and I said, hey, how come I can't reach you? I need to talk to you. So we scheduled a time for us to chat, and she said, and I'm sorry I'm hogging the show. I said, I had a dream about you and your mom. I've never met this girl in my life. I played video games with her. But for some reason, her mom felt like we had a strong enough connection, like where I could deliver her a message to be strong. And as soon as I said that, she broke down and started crying. She said, I needed to hear that. And she's all like, you do know my mom is dead. I was like, I had no idea. I had no idea she died. But in my dream, she came to me, and I can't remember how the dream went, because once I dream like that, I have to hurry up and reach out to someone because I'll forget it.
Right.
And I told her to be strong, and she cried because she was a recovering addict, and she was having issues with her at the time baby daddy, and she said, I really needed to hear that because I'm going through some, yeah. So
yeah. And see, and that's why you'll also have people that are on the Christian side with organized religion saying receiving those things is evil, and that's
why I closed my third eye, is because the Catholic, I stopped saying stuff. I was all like, well, that's not right, and my mom was all like, oh, you can't, that's not real, and blah 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 blah, and everyone thought I was weird. So I stopped, and then I was trying to reopen it bigger, and they said, I don't want to do that because it'll come back tenfold, or you'll have more, you'll be able to see things. If you don't want to see things, you'll be able to see things.
Not only will you be able to see things, but things will actually be able to enter you.
I don't want that.
Yeah, so that's the reason why I tell people, if you're sensitive, you got to have what's called blocks and blockers.
So I'm not forcing myself to reopen anything. I'm just letting it happen naturally, so that way it doesn't happen.
And do it slowly. The one thing the reason why I deal with the demonology side of it and dealing with organized religion, even though I am a ordained minister, the one thing that I had issues with is that we used to be told that if a kid was not baptized, then they were going to hell.
But they're born clean.
And so,
even a newborn baby.
Yeah.
From what I heard, but a church I used to go to, and I found this bullshit immediately. The priest or whatever said that if a baby is born, if it's not baptized from the day it's born, it's going to hell. And I was like, this is bullshit.
And see, that's the thing right there, is that you deal with people that use religion as a control thing. The only time you will be in jeopardy of going to being separated from God for eternity is when you become of age. Now, in the Jewish customs, it's when they go through. Oh gosh, what's my brain not working? What's the name of bar mitzvah? It means you're going
13.
You're going from a child and you're going to becoming an adult. Typically, what that means is that you start to know the difference between the sexes. When you're a child,
do not teach
you don't know that a boy or a girl, that there's anything special different about you. But when you become in a time of puberty, then you know that there's a difference between you, and that's when you're in the age of accountability. And from there, so I knew that when I got into this, that people would deal with and say that they were seeing the spirit of children. You cannot see spirits of children. Now
that scares me right there. I will never want to see anything childlike spirits, because imagine, like, you see all those ghost hunts where they're in a hospital or a children's hospital back in the 1920s, and a ball is rolling across the floor because the child is playing with you.
No, it's not a child.
I don't even want to think what it really is, but it creeps me out.
The reason why it's not a child is children, when a child dies, immediately of its innocence, because it's not at the age of knowing, an angel actually comes down and carries that child home. Carries it back up. A child's spirit can't be on this plane because it's innocence and it's taken immediately. Now, you do have things that try and hold on to children and try to hold on and hold them down, or make you think as a child, and the reason why is so that you will open yourself up to it and be like, oh, it's a child. I'm going to interact with it. I'm going to buy it a toy. I'm going to go do this.
Because soon you're going to think this child is a child, and it's going to ask to, can I go inside your body really quick just so I could feel like what it's like to be a human alive again? And then it's going to happen more often until you're fully possessed and they take over.
You hear things about demons, and people say that, demons are fallen angels. They are not. There is a thing in the Muslim traditions which is known as the jinn. The jinn were the ones that came from the fire, and we were the ones of clay. And then you had the angels, and they were jealous of mankind because we were created in God's image. Demons are actually the offspring of fallen angels. When the angels came down at Mount Hermon, 200 watcher angels copulated with the daughters of men. This is where your myths come from, of Zeus, Hercules. All those myths that we're told are myths are actually true stories. The thing is that when they died, because they were called earthbound spirits. Now, you've heard the term that you have earthbound spirits. That would be the Nephilim that are earthbound. They're not able to go up to heaven, and they're not able to go into the earth to hell. They are earthbound, and this is where they will always be. They are the ones that want to possess. Angels can't possess your body, but their children can possess your body if you open up a door and let them come in. If you open up one, the reason why you have demons that want to possess humans is because they enjoy all the pleasures of the flesh. And also what a lot of people don't realize is that your first witches that were known, which is also mentioned in the book of Enoch, they were actually taught, and they were the wives of the fallen angels. And they were the ones that were taught the earthbound and all the stuff that dealt with the elements and stuff like that. And that's something that gets passed down, and in some cases still today, the white magic and black magic, there's really no difference between the two because it all comes from the same source.
So how do you cleanse yourself before you leave the site?
What now?
So how do you cleanse yourself before you leave the?
Now there is a thing with people. I tell people to use sage, burn sage, and also you also have to be. And I tell this to people, and even if as a Christian, I want people to choose their own path, but I tell people you've got to be filled with something. If you're not, something's going to fill you up. And that is what spirits do.
What if someone's agnostic, or even atheist?
Then there's always going to be something that's going to fill that dark hole, that void within you. Coming from being an atheist, coming from being an agnostic.
Agnostics, they do believe in the higher being, but they don't have proof, right?
Yeah, they believe in a higher being, which
yeah.
But it's also the same thing. People always blame God for all the bad stuff. Why does God allow all this bad stuff to happen if he's omnipotent? Well, the God of the Father of Jesus and the God of the Jews is not the God of this world. The God of this world is also known as Satan or Lucifer, but his real name is Hael. And so what you do is when you're going to these things, you definitely have to say, be very forceful and say, you cannot follow me. I definitely tell people to use sage. I definitely tell people that they need to have prayers. And trust me, eventually you'll when you do stuff long enough, you'll recognize one prayer is going to work over another prayer. And usually the one that's behind that you're praying to or praying about, that's the authority. A lot of people sit there and will be like, well, I was a Christian, and I got influenced by a demon. And I'm like, well, then you open a door, and there are doors that we open all the time. I've had to deal with this too, where even myself, I went on an investigation. I caught some of the best evidence I ever had. Um, Even had the spirit answer me as I was talking and using my video camera and my tape recorder, answered and corrected me when I was wrong, and told me to go back, and I didn't. It followed me home, and this was the first time I ever had to deal with, for myself personally, I had to deal with a demonic spirit. And so that's when I realized that I needed to educate myself. I needed to, if I'm going to be a ghost hunter, if I'm going to search out these things or help people with these things, I've got to make sure that I'm keeping myself clean. One thing I tell people that you don't want to do if you're going to go hunt, you don't want to be intoxicated. You don't want to have anything in your system that can make it where you can't control who you are. So that means that something can come in and can control you. If you know people that's gone and they've gone spirit ghost hunting or spirit hunting or whatever, and all of a sudden their personality changes, then that means they have an attachment. That attachment will lead to oppression, it will lead to depression, and then it will lead to possession. And the whole purpose of an entity that is an evil spirit is to take hold of you as an individual so it can relive its passions that it used to have back in the when it was physically alive.
So you remember that thing I sent you today about
Yes.
that girl? She was getting sick while she was going to church and taking communion because she was already possessed.
Yes, she was
That's
already
what I think.
oppressed.
And that's why when I was watching the video, I wasn't holding my phone like this. I was holding my phone like this. Like,
Yeah.
looking away, like out of the corner of my eye, because I didn't want to get scared,
And she was having where she was losing track of time.
Mm-hmm.
And not only losing track of time,
She lost her boyfriend.
Yeah, and didn't
Oh,
realize
God.
that she also had bruises on her.
Bruising.
And everything was telling me, okay, you're under oppression. You're one step away. It's alienating you. That's what an evil spirit will do. It will do everything it can to alienate you from your friends, your family, your loved ones, where you feel as if you're totally alone. You have no ability nobody cares about you and stuff like that. And that's where you're falling more and more into its trap. I've always said that these entities are like spiders. They want you to get tangled in their web and keep getting tangled in that web, and then they will slowly come down after you're tangled up, and then they will slowly drain you of your life. And that's what these things do. Now, when I moved out here, I got very weird feelings. And I actually described to Nikki's mom and Nikki this man that wore overalls that was at the end of the road and exactly what he looked like. And Nikki was like, "That you're explaining my grandpa." And he died when I was 6. But then I also saw something that her grandfather, who lived till he was 92, used to sit there and say, "The shadow children are playing around." Hey, welfare. Saying would run around and do these things. And I went over there to kind of, because I heard her mom was talking about it and saying his dementia is getting really bad now, and he's now seeing these little shadow children, and he's reacting to them. And so Nikki brought it to my attention. She's like, "I really just want you to go over there, and I want you to do what you do and see if there's something there." And there was. And so I did a thing with the prayers and the other things that I did to cleanse the area. And in doing so, those things were never seen again. And he actually calmed down. And then Um, her grandmother never had them. Never, she stayed in the house. He died when he was 92, and she stayed in it till she passed away when she was 100, and never saw anything like that again.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So, if someone blesses their house,
Hmm.
doors open, doors close, right? They had to keep all the doors open, and after they cleanse that room, do they have to close it? Isn't that getting rid of just the good spirits? Because I don't feel like the evil spirits would listen.
It depends on who you have blessing the house.
A priest.
Well, it also depends on what that priest, and do you give him the authority to be over your house for that period? And that comes from the head of the household, which would be the man at that time. I know that sounds weird, but there is, believe it or not, there's a hierarchy. Even the demon world, there's a hierarchy that even they obey. And it's interesting is when you start looking, you start to see, okay, there's these different patterns. There's this here. Typically, I tell people if I do it, I'm going to need the if there's a husband and wife, or if it's just a mom or just a father, or if it's a couple that or
I'm the man.
yeah. And so I tell and I say I need you to be here when we do this, because what you would have to do is you would have to verbally say, I'm allowing this holy man, I'm allowing this man to take in charge and take hold of my spiritual side to this house. And in doing so, that means that anything that's in there would have to leave because of the fact of the authority that's going in there. Me personally, people have always asked and said, okay, if you know that there's ghosts and there's demons, and you know there's all these different religions out there, and trust me, I've dealt with all of them. Why do you trust Christianity over the other? And I won't ever say I'm a Baptist, a Catholic, or a Presbyterian, or a Pentecostal, or anything like that. I'll say I'm a Christian, and the reason why, or I'll say I'm a follower of Jesus, is that there is only in history, and not only in history, but also with what I have practiced and done, there is one name that every single one of those things are subject to and obey. And that is Jesus. And it's Jesus Christ. Or if you go to the Arabic, it goes Yeshua HaMashiach. And so you're there, and this goes even for Buddhists and stuff like that. They say we can only do this for a short time. I've seen that if you speak with the authority of Jesus Christ, then what you do is that I've recognized that the people that follow that, these things don't come back. They may try and rear up their head, but if you're taught by this time, or you're filled with what is called the Holy Spirit, and with that, you now have that. It's what it says Jesus will dwell in your heart. Well, that it means that he is the authority that you subject yourself under. And these things don't come back. And I've actually dealt with people that have dealt with aliens and the alien phenomenon and being abducted and saying that in the name of Jesus, and those things leaves them and leaves the room. I have heard testimonies and read depositions and testimonies of people, who were just like I was, looking for the truth and recognizing that man-made traditions, organized religion, whatever your belief system is, if it's based off of man's authority, then these things will not go away on that authority. And the only authority I personally, and this is what I share with people dealing with these entities, the only authority that I have ever had that's worked. And I have been around with people that I saw things get levitated. I have seen things get thrown across the room. I have seen people get picked up and thrown down. I have seen
Oh God.
stuff. I have actually been.
Oh man,
I've been in.
I gotta say this. I gotta say this real quick. I was watching this this YouTube channel, Top 5 Ghosts Caught on Camera. There was this one video. I think this lady had a camera on her in the corner of her living room or something. I don't know. She had a couple of cats and a couple of dogs. There was a cat that was laying on the couch, and then out of nowhere, you can't see anything. It looked like the cat was pulled off the couch and then drug across the room, and the cat started freaking out like something was like a ghost just grabbed it, yanked it off the couch, and just started pulling it across the room, and the cat started freaking out.
Well, animals do see things, and animals are subjugated under your authority. So if you, I pray over my cats. Matter of fact, when I say my prayers and I'm praying for everyone, I mention their animals, because in the scriptures it says that they have a soul.
You figure that cat in that video that you were just describing.
Let me see if I can find it.
Is you figure the cat would have sensed something before something showed up and did that to it.
If it's
Let me see if I can.
if the authority of the house doesn't acknowledge it, your animals can be blinded by it because of their connection to you. So I have seen I've actually seen animal ghosts, and I've shared this with people. You know, people sit there and go, well, do animals have souls? Well, yeah, the scripture actually says. Did you know it actually says in the scriptures, Jesus actually tells us that you are supposed to tell every living creature about him?
Wow.
You're supposed to tell the trees. You're supposed to tell your animals. You're supposed to tell everything that's in this world about him. And organized religion, and I know I'm beating up on organized religion, but I have to, because organized religion is what's been the biggest Achilles heel to who the truth is about Jesus Christ. And I know a lot of people don't like to hear about Jesus Christ, and there's a reason why. Do you see people that will attack Buddhists because of what they believe? We saw it with the Muslims, but they didn't really attack Muhammad. They attacked the individuals. That was what I call programming us to demonize religions. But Jesus is the one that a lot of times in my studies and in what I've dealt with is the one thing these things are terrified of. And for me to sit there and go, why are they terrified of someone that supposedly died 2,000-3,000 years ago? Why are they so terrified by and subjugated to this? And when you start to do the research, and I tell people, you don't need to go by what organized religion tells you. You don't need to go by what I'm telling you. I tell people all the time, and I do this still today. If people ask for a Bible, I get them a Bible, and I'll give them a Bible, and I'll let them read it, and they can ask questions. Hey, girl.
She's pregnant.
Awesome. I can't wait to see those puppies. You said in 2 months, right?
2 months from the 3rd.
Nice. And so now, do y'all want me to share you some of the stories of some of the ghosts of things I've dealt with or seen? All right. Do you want me to start from what I saw as a kid, or do you want me to tell you one of the
something you told me you told me before of a tame story of what you've experienced?
Yes. So when I was younger, and this is not
the tame story, right? This is the actual scary part.
This will be the whole thing.
Okay.
And I'm only going to do a little bit of it because even today it still bothers me.
Okay.
Where we lived, My biological father had designed the house to be a circle inside the house, and it was everything pointed to the fireplace. I later on learned the reason why is because his certain beliefs and what he was doing, and also um, who he honored. That's why I say it's very important that you know who is the authority of your house, because who is the authority of your house is who the spirits will listen to, and they will listen to if it's good. I saw my biological father do things that had three preachers that were there. I didn't know why they were there. But my mom had three preachers come, and they were going to try and test my biological father to see if he had something attached to him. And I saw him do stuff to those preachers and them run out of the house and never came back. And so for me, I was like, if whatever my biological father follows and worships and is talking to me at night is the man in black, then that's where the authority comes from. So I kind of gravitated to him, and he would talk to me nightly. I ended up having a toy that was a purple little Dungeons and Dragons type little toy. And I had He-Man and Transformers and stuff like that. And I could sit there and he would play and move the toys as we would do stuff together. And I would have conversations with him. And as this was unfolding and happening, my mom happened to come into the room to see who I was talking to. And when she opened up the door, everything went down. And I happened to have the one toy that had been handed to me, and it was a little purple looking demon toy. And my mom freaks out and says, "Where did you get that? Where did you get that?" My mom doesn't tell me till later on. After she gets rid of it, it shows back up in the house. She eventually burns it, and I swear you could hear it laughing. My mom was seeing this thing run across the floor in the house all the time.
After she burnt it?
No, before she burned it. She burned it and then finally burned it, and it sounded as if it was laughing as it got burnt. She threw it in the garbage can. She threw it in the woods. She tried to get rid of it at least 4 times before she burned it. And then she just got rid of any type of toy that I had that kind of even remotely looked like something that was, I guess it could be considered a demon or a monster or creature. My mom got rid of because she was like, I can't do this. And then my biological father ended up going so far down the dark side that he ended up in a I guess the best way I call it is a crazy home, because his mind had been so corrupted by this that he was literally crazy. But that's also probably because he did acid and and did other drugs, so that he could open himself up to these things, so he could commune with them. My younger brother came out of the back bedroom in this house. He was crying, and he has scratches all over his body.
Oh, God.
And I was like, oh, God, I'm going to get in trouble for this. I'm going to be blamed for this. And he's like, no, the toys grabbed me, was pulling me in the closet.
What the fuck?
My mom married a Marine who was my stepdad, who was my dad, who I consider my dad. He passed away a couple of years ago, but he had been in Vietnam. And when he was talking to me about when I got older and was going through my chemotherapy and stuff, and I was becoming a believer in Jesus, he was wanting to know why. Because he said, I know you saw things at that house. He saved up every bit of the money he could to move us out of that house. He said he never slept. He felt like he was always on guard, and he could never sleep. One time at the house, it was raining. It was thunder and lightning. and we were not allowed to go into their bedroom. And so my brother and I were sitting down, we were watching cartoons, and we got home from school, and all of a sudden we hear a baby crying.
In your biological dad's house.
Yes, before my stepdad got moved us out of this place. But heard a baby crying, and it was coming from their room. And so we were like, okay, that's odd. So we all got up, my older brother, me, and my younger brother. We got up, we walked and opened up their door, and we could swear we were hearing a baby crying. It was coming from their closet. So we walked into the closet, and we didn't know that we had an attic. But in their closet was the attic, and that's where the baby was coming from crying. So we pull the door down. We're going up there, hearing this baby cry, all of us, and then the whole house popped. Like it came alive.
Oh, God.
We ran outside. We heard god-awful noises that was taking place. My mom and my dad were supposed to be coming home from work any moment, and we were like, we've got to go back in the house. Wonder why we're standing out here in the rain. We went back in there, and the whole room was turned upside down, as if something literally picked up the dressers and threw it one cross from one side of the house to the other. Everything was just completely ransacked, and we knew we were going to get blamed for it. And there was no way we could fix it in time before they got home. And,
The whole house?
Yeah. The other thing, too, is that things would get broken, and we'd be like, we didn't do it. But yet, the thing would be in our bedroom, as if we were the one who broke it and try to hide it. It used to play games. And the reason why is it enjoyed the arguments and the fighting.
It was feeding off the negativity in the house.
Yeah. My mom blamed my biological father for the windows blowing out of the house, the front windows in the house. She claimed that he threw stuff into the house and broke the windows in. But when it was investigated, the glass was outside, as if something had been
thrown out
the window. So everybody in this area would have a story, and things would happen, except for the family that were believers in Jesus Christ. The only Christians in this whole neighborhood, nothing ever happened in their house. When I would go there, I would see the man in black, and he could not set foot on their front yard. I never knew why. It confused me. And when I would go to their house, I would actually be able to go to sleep and be at peace and not worry about anything. She realized that I had something that had attached itself to me. And she tried to talk to my mom about it. The interesting thing is that she's the reason why I learned that organized religion is not the answer. A relationship with Jesus is the answer. There was a guy, his name was Mr. Carrot. He was an older gentleman. His wife had died. So she would make food for him, and, we would carry it over there, or he would come by, and she ended up opening up a daycare at her house so that all us kids would come there, because she noticed that we were all coming to her house anyway. And she was trying to find out why. It's because all of us kids are having stories of this thing going around.
They felt safe there.
Yeah, I did feel safe there. And he came by, and he was like, he says, I guess my time's going to be soon, because I saw my wife today, and we talked. And we were, she was worried about him, so she called his son and his daughter and said, your father's kind of talking out of his head. I remember this. It was the weirdest thing in the neighborhood that had happened. And I remember him saying he was talking about his wife. And I was thinking, well, why is that weird? As a kid, I'm going, why would that be weird that he's talking to his wife, not knowing that his wife had been dead for for years, and he ended up dying in the house, but we were never told how or why. We were just never allowed to go into his yard or go into his house ever again.
Why?
Still this day, something they do not talk about, that they will not talk about.
Mm.
When here's to tell you how much this family that were believers in Jesus, but they were what I call Bible believers, not organized religion believers, not traditional believers, not people that believe in they sit there.
Christianity or Catholic.
Yeah, they're not in their customs. They don't believe in their customs. They believe in a relationship. When they moved, everyone else in the neighborhood moved too, because it got so bad. After they left in the neighborhood, it got so bad that everybody left. Matter of fact, my grandfather still owned some of the houses that was there, tried to rent them out, try to give them away, still couldn't give them away. He couldn't keep renters in. And going towards your house, I pass it every time.
Mm.
When I go by there. Now other people
Wow. But you can't see it.
I can see the house. I don't see anything in the house. I just know that it's changed a lot of people's hands over the years, and that it's been more. What I learned is that this was more attached to the land, not to the house.
Not to the house with the fireplace in the middle.
No, it was attached to the land itself, and it had to go back. There is a dark part of where we live, a history. It's where the First Nation people were moved out, forced out. And if you were Native American and you could pass as white, you gave up your heritage and became white. And it's so that your kids could have an education, so you could own land, so you could do things. So I've always wondered if there was something that was so negative that was done in this area many hundreds of years ago, and that's the reason why why it has those things today.
Mm. Wow.
So,
I don't know what he's saying.
Wow, dude.
That's why sometimes I think he's an indigo kid.
I think he's a genius. That's what I'm thinking. I think he's more of a genius than anybody else.
Oh shit! Babe,
What happened?
my monitor fell.
There was one I wanted to ask you about, and if you don't want to share this one, that's fine. The alarm clock.
Yes, I can share that.
That Nikki had.
Yeah, Nikki knew that I did stuff. Oh, look at little man.
Aw.
Oh, look at little man.
Oh baby!
Get a bath.
There you go.
Oh, fresh.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Because I'm squeaky clean now.
Here, time out really quick. Hold on, time out.
Time out.
She's like, time out. What? Awesome.
Anyways,
Are there any like super active places where you live, Primer?
There's one place that is in the old part of the city that a lady back in the past, and she was, the sad story is that she was waiting for her husband, and this is still a real active place. And matter of fact, still to this day, people see her standing in the window as she's looking out, waiting for her husband to come home.
Wow.
and it has been documented by the newspaper, catching the pictures of her in the window. And
What?
what's that?
Catching who in the window?
One of the places in the old part of the town where we're from, there's a house where it was a lady was waiting for her husband to come home and he didn't, and she didn't understand why he had been killed in an accident, and so she became sad and depressed, so she committed suicide in the house. And stories go all the way back to the 1800s where you could still see her, and the house still stands today. It's become a historical site, and it's been documented that there is a lady spirit that's there. Another place where it's real haunted,
Oh dear.
where it's real haunted, and I didn't know this place was haunted, but it was a graveyard.
Wow.
And a matter of fact is where Sherman came through in the South and not only raped and pillaged the women, but also burned Chesterfield down to the ground. And so Sherman, when he came through, this place that was the graveyard is known as one of the most active places, and I have been asked to go to and be a part of documenting, and I have been asked to go in and for the group to not know that I was a demonologist, because they were wanting to know, is this really, because a lot of bad stuff happens to people and animals in this place. Are we really dealing with human spirits, or is there something else there?
Like demonic or what?
Yeah, demonic is what they were asking. I went there, and some of the best EVPs I've ever called was there, and I was like, I'm not seeing. I am seeing that you're having spirits and stuff that's going on here, and there's activity. I did not realize that they had someone else that was there that was a witch, and they wanted to see
Wow.
her reaction
Oh shit.
of what was going on. So they got me, and they got her. I didn't know what she was doing, but I saw this huge black shadow. I mean, it was blacker than the night in the sky. You couldn't see through it. It was so thick. And I saw it moving rapidly, like it was leaping and moving. And I recognized that it was going towards my direction, which Nikki was in the car, because Nikki was like, I'm not getting out and doing that. But I recognized it was heading in that direction. And immediately I said the name of God in Hebrew and did my prayer for protection. And the girl that was dealing with this was her her spirit, her her communicated with, hits nothing in front of her, hits a brick wall and collapses.
Wow.
And when she does, the thing stops and does everything in reverse all the way back out.
Wait, the witch collapses?
Wow.
She gets up and she says, "What language? Or what did you just say?" And I didn't know, and I mentioned again, and she had issues with it. She's now a believer in Jesus Christ after this. This was a crazy thing, because she sat there and said, I just recognized there's something more powerful than what I had. And it made
So was she a prisoner, or was she a willing witch?
Yes,
Yeah.
a willing. Because it was giving her power. And I did not know that this was going to even happen. I'm allowed to share this story, but she's always asked that I don't share her name in it, because people do know her. But she admits to it. She'll admit and say, "Yeah, I was there when this happened," But yeah.
That's crazy.
So was she trying to have the spirit attack someone, or was the spirit trying to attack her?
I think the spirit, what I gathered, because you got to at that time she's not willing to talk to me at all, because I didn't realize, but it was later on that I was told that that was who she spoke to, and that's who gave her messages, and that's what she did things for. And she says, whatever you said, and I mean, she literally looks like she hits a brick wall and falls down, and that thing does a reverse all the way back. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life, where it just does a whole, everything was coming this way. And after I did this, I'm like, okay, I'm seeing it. This stuff is is elevating extremely high. Yes, we've called like EVPs, and yes, we've had things answer through the thing, but I was like, this thing is dark and it's evil and it's moving fast. And so I just did what I would normally do for myself. And that's what I did. And so, yeah. And it's still active. That place is still active. I mean, even without people doing anything there, you can go to this area, and about 98% or 99% of the time, you will catch something there.
And is it a place where you could drive by real easily?
Yep. Sure can. I will only go there if it's still light outside. I don't think I would ever go back there to that area again.
You wouldn't even drive by that area, right?
No, I kind of avoid it. If it's nighttime in that area, and I've not been back. I've not been back, and I mean that's for me. Even like for Nikki, for me not to go back. I know there are things there that is wanting the attachment, and I know that there's been things there to amp, because you can do that. And I tell people all the time, do not do anything to amp up a spirit, anything to fuel it, because you're always going to end up with a negative. You're never going to end up with a positive. You're going to always end up with a negative. And if you're going in there to taunt, to be aggressive, or try and force something to happen, it's just like I tell people, you don't go to a hornet's nest and stick a stick in it and wiggle it around and think you're not going to get tore up by the hornets. You might get lucky, but you're going to eventually, something's going to happen, something's going to sting you, and you're going to feel it. And I think sometimes, like in that area, if people are still doing stuff there, I hope they're not. They're really playing with fire, honestly, in that area.
So, have you experienced with Ouija board or no?
Yep.
You're not supposed to.
No, you're not supposed to. You're absolutely right. I was young and stupid, and this was how attachments work. Attachments, when you go to a spirit board, and a lot of people don't realize this, but they actually were known as demon boards, and they actually go all the way back to Greece. And the first ones that are there, just like with the tarot cards, they go all the way that far back. Their whole purpose was to have a communicate with the underworld, or the dark side. And when you deal with Ouija boards, you don't know who's answering you. You might be told that it's this person here answering you, but you're having to the reason why you have to touch it, and a lot of people don't know this, the reason why you're having to touch it is that you're actually giving it your energy.
Oh God!
Because your body has electrical current.
Yeah. So when you're sitting there and you're touching it, you're giving it authority to take your energy. And so when it moves, it feels like it's moving on its own, and your hands are going with it. The reason why is it's pulling your energy. Now, how much energy you are willing to go into this is what reactions you will get from it. But the whole purpose of it is for the entity to draw energy from you. I have had people that sit there and say, use my energy. That's the stupidest thing to ever say, first of all, because your body is like a battery. And if something taps into that battery, it can drain that battery dry.
Why do you think like electrical equipment go out whenever there's a spirit nearby?
Yep.
And then,
Actually,
like,
I
when
can't wear watches and stuff on my arms because I short circuit everything.
So do they connect to the people that are the weakest, or are they just
the most
connect?
vulnerable.
Yeah,
What now?
it said do they get to the people that are most vulnerable, or do they just go to the person that doesn't have anything filled up in them?
It typically will gravitate to two things to a person. If you have a very person that's a bunch of arrogant skeptic, it will attach itself to slowly drain them, and then things will happen in their life that they will sit there and say, "Oh, I just got bad luck," or I'm just being clumsy, or I'm not feeling it. Well, what it is that you've got this attachment, and it's attached itself to you, and it's slowly draining you. And because you don't believe in any of that stuff, then you're not telling it to leave. You're not saying you can't do this because you don't believe. Now, I tell people this, yeah, and I'm very adamant about this. If you're not filled with something, something's going to fill you. And if you're going into these things and you're wanting to communicate and you're sitting there seeking it out, you've got to be careful because you don't know what's going to seek you out, because you now recognize that this is real. And then you have levels that will happen in your life, that if you have things that will follow you home. But typically the ones that have to be the ones that have to be the ones that protect themselves some more is the sensitives, because the sensitive is automatically like a beacon of light in a dark room.
Wow.
And they see that light and they gravitate to that light. And I tell people you have to put up bubbles. And you have to, like my wife just pointed out, she says you got to make sure you don't acknowledge them. And those are the types of things that they will gravitate to. It doesn't matter if it doesn't mean it's not going to attach to people that are weak-minded, but it will. A lot of people are like, well, why does it pick and choose? Well, it picks and chooses on what it can gain from you. See, the thing is that these things can get into your mind also, and they can know your thoughts. And so that is why you will have some people back in ancient times were called oracles. And they would call upon the spirits to enter into their bodies, and they would get into a translucent state, and they would be able to tell the future and do all this other stuff. The reason why is that the way I've always described it is imagine an airplane. Okay, you're down on the ground, and 5 miles ahead of you, you don't know that there's a car wreck and that there's everything is on fire and it's just going to crazy, and you don't know that till you get closer and closer and closer. But sometimes in a helicopter or a plane is going to see that accident before you ever recognize that accident's even happened. And if you're constantly, touching, tabbing, it's going to watch you get closer and closer and closer to this accident. And then it's going to be able to pinpoint where you have weaknesses within your own psyche. And then it will start going after those little entities and those little divots. Yes.
So now the movie Sixth Sense, the boy who's seen the girl at the side of the window.
Yes.
Is it because he was a sensitive, or is it because he was young?
Because he was a sensitive.
And he didn't know it.
Right. But the when you have what they call psychic kids, I don't like that term because you're labeling something that you don't fully understand. Um, there are people that see things that are more in tune to those things than the normal person, and I tell them all the time, anyone that's like that, you have got to be extremely careful. And I tell people my story, and I let them make the choice on their own if they want to put up the guards and the defenses that I have learned to do, if they want to learn those too. But you have to be careful because things will there are things even in ancient culture you hear things as known as shapeshifters, or you've heard of skinwalkers.
Skinwalkers.
Okay, there's a reason why it's called skinwalkers. The reason why it's called skinwalkers is that it has consumed so much of that energy from that individual that they got that it cannot emulate what they look like.
Kind of like a mystique.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or the animal. It's the reason why foxes and stuff were considered jokesters. They're actually also known as connections to Loki, the trickster. And that Loki was a skinwalker. If you go by the basis of mythology and you look at mythology, and you look at it from the standpoint that, let's say, there's a common thread through all these things that you can't have the same stories being told all over the world of these different entities and not be somewhere along the line being connected. They just be given different names of different cultures. You recognize these things go back thousands of years. And the first time they show up in mythology is always after a great cataclysm that was created by water. And every culture has minotaurs. They have half human, half hybrid man and creature. All cultures have this.
Philippines. It's a man bat.
Yep. And then you have a great cataclysm that takes place, which is typically known as the deluge or water. The Bible calls it the flood. Greek mythology calls it the great deluge, the sinking of Atlantis. All cultures have this. So there's a common factor that all cultures have this great flood that took place in the ancient past. And then after that, these spirits, entities came from it.
Huh? I don't know where it's at, babe.
And what that does is it has it where the reason why these entities make their presence after the flood is because they lost their mortal bodies. And I wrote papers and books and stuff too, and into this topic. And that's why I tell people you got to be is seeking out this stuff. It is a two-edged sword. One, you're either going to get the answer you're looking for, or two, you're going to get your answer that you wish you had never asked. But it's always going to come with a price. My wife, she is my anchor, and she makes sure that that I am, first of all, prayed up, make sure I'm right before I ever go off and do anything. Because she went with me on one thing, and it was in Wilmington, North Carolina, and we were doing an investigation, and nothing really happened except this one thing. I thought that Nikki, my wife, was tired, and I felt somebody come up to me and touch me on my shoulder, and I was like, wait 1 second, I'll get some more pictures. And then I felt when I was getting ready to take the picture, I felt my arm go down. And I turned around and go, babe, what are you doing? And she was sitting outside. So I immediately left, and I was like, she's like, are you okay? Because you look like you were talking to yourself or something, and you were, and I was like, I thought you were there. So we left from that area. And we went back to this the place that we were spending the night. And we went to bed, and I kept saying, you know, I feel funny, and she was even saying that, you know, there's just something that just seems a little off, but I didn't think anything of it, and so we went to bed. Now Nikki had a alarm clock that ran off of batteries. She had it when she was in Poland, and had it and carried it wherever we went. And we heard this big crashing sound coming from the kitchen. So we immediately, you know, roll over and look and cut the light on, and we're like looking to see what's going on. And I get up, I walk out of the bedroom, I go around the corner, walk down to where I heard the noise, which was in the kitchen, and Nikki's clock that she's always carried with her had been just exploded all over the back wall and on the floor and everything. And she was like, okay, I'm done. We're going home. It was around 3 something in the morning. And I remember her going downstairs, getting in the car, let me finish packing everything up and put it in the car. And I drove home 3 hours.
Witching hour.
And
oh man, I can't tell you that I've been waking up at 3 a.m. so many freaking times from the last couple of days.
Then you need to pray.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You need to pray. That's the reason why. If you're waking up at the witching hour, it's a mockery of Jesus. So you have to be careful. Now, culture will tell you that Jesus, God, and the Holy Spirit are the same. But you will not find that in the scriptures.
So what is there like? Am I living in there? If I'm waking up at 3 a.m. or some shit, there like a ghost around here or some shit?
Well, no, it's not mean there's a ghost around there. It means that it means are you having times where you're really angry and frustrated? And get annoyed about things? And get
not besides. Yeah, that pretty much. I told you stuff about stuff like that.
That then you and I will talk off air if that's still going on.
Okay.
So we will talk.
So my question: Why do things possess items? Like, what draws them to that?
Okay, that's a excellent question. It typically is where you, as the individual. Okay, like for me, I'm a big comic book guy. And I've got a lot of Transformers, and I make the joke that I love my Transformers so much that if anybody gets them after I die, I'm going to go visit them and say, take care of them. Mm-hmm. You know, so really what happens is that this is where it comes into the ancient cultures. The ancient cultures have it where you would worship an idol. Okay, an idol was something that was made by man's hands. And when you make it with your hands, then you're giving it your energy into what you've made. So if you have something that is made and you as the individual cherish that object, and in some way it has become, at that time in their life, it was an idol to them. Even they don't think it's an idol, it became that, so that energy can be fused to that, and that's why you would have things that can attach to those.
My husband's religion. What is it about the idols, hon? That they don't worship religions. They don't have an idol or something. Huh? Yeah, in his religion, his religion doesn't believe in praying to the saints or even Virgin Mary, and then or praying to like worshiping an idol.
Yeah, you're not supposed to.
Yeah, that's what his religion. And then my mother, my mom, she's Catholic, and I see her rubbing the feet of Virgin Mary, and they play the rosary, and I don't like praying the rosary because it's like I don't like praying that rosary. It puts me to sleep. I don't get any kind of fulfillment in that.
and that's what's called organized religion. That is repetitiveness. That is, so you do something over and over and over. It becomes a Kama Sutra. It's where you're putting your energy into that object. Nine times. What it was the word I'm looking for? My brain's not working. No, not a golem. I'm talking about with the rosaries and with praying to a cross and praying to the Virgin Mary. Your
false idol.
Yeah, it is a false idol. See, Mary did nothing but was nothing but a virgin that was that carried the Son of God. She's not the mediator. Matter of fact, Jesus is not on the cross. He's not a baby either.
And then I remember my mom having Santa Nino too.
Well, when you're praying to that, what you're doing is you're actually praying to, when you pray to Mary in the Catholic Church, when you're praying to Mary, you're actually praying to the goddess of heaven, which is the opposition of the Father. And that's where you have ancestor worship comes from that too. Even my culture, ancestor worship is can be a very big thing. You want to honor your ancestors. You want to do this. And there's a right way to honor ancestors, and then there's a wrong way of honoring your ancestors. If you're burning things to it, or if you're praying to them, just like the saints, that's what it means is ancestor worship with the
Buddhists
saints.
do that.
Huh?
The Byron's parents or Byron's grandparents, they would have a shrine, and when the grandma died. And I didn't know. I was very ignorant. And I was still learning their culture because they're Cambodian.
Oh, okay. So
and
they
I went
like
to the shrine.
And
I was pulling up the incense that was already burnt from the shrine. And I was like, oh no, I left it there. I never removed it, but I put it back because, you know. And then the sister, Byron's aunt, was like looking at me, and she was ready to jump on me, like.
Oh yeah, because you're
because I was taking an offering.
Yes.
And then I was all like, Lena, her name's Lena. I was like, where's the incense at? Because I pulled them up and I was putting up, like, I was just looking at them. I was touching them, but I wasn't removing them from the shrine. But I was all like, oh, this is not in full incense. It was already burnt. And she's all like, oh, you almost got hurt right now because I thought you were going to remove something from their altar. She was waiting for me. She was waiting for me to remove something. She wanted. Anyway, so I was like, where's the incense at? And then I was like, well, you got to tell me this stuff. I don't know. Right. I don't have the same beliefs as you. Mm-hmm. But they were praying to their grandma.
Okay. For good.
And they had a shrine. And one time there was on the side of the road over by my grandma's house, a Vietnamese family who lived across the street. There was a shrine. And they were giving candles because the ghosts, their spirits, eat candles. They were feeding the spirits.
Right.
Isn't that?
Yeah, that's weird.
That, again, goes into ancestor worship, which actually is a lot older than what people realize and where it actually comes from. But that's because in those cultures, you want to make sure that their spirit is at peace. And they have to have an offering given to them so they can stay at peace. The sad thing is that's where it comes into the shapeshifters, and that's where it comes into the no, not with that. Thank you. Comes into the like the Loki, where you have the trickster, and a lot of people will sit there and say, okay, well, I was talking to my family member because my family member knew all this stuff. And what I've told people in the past is that if your family member's not at peace, you're not going to be able to pray to them to get them at peace. That's what they have to do. In the Jewish faith, the body, the spirit is allowed to stay on earth for 3 days. And then it is to move on. It is to go to, and so you have within 3 days, to make your amends and your peace to everybody, because like even with Nikki, when I was sharing this knowledge with her, she's like, well, when my grandpa died, I saw him when I was young. And I told my mom, and my mom said, well, just tell him goodbye. And, you just, he'll move along and move on. But you will have entities that will emulate a family member. Because here's the thing is that, okay, you might think that you're having a private conversation between you and your family member. You're thinking, I'm having this private conversation. No one else is going to know about it. It's going to be between me and them. You don't know what entities are around you. And these entities do talk to one another. And they share information. And so with them sharing that information, they're able to convey as if a trickster will do everything. And then you know what it's a trickster is when it says you need to honor me. You need to. What was that, Baby Mahal?
My friend, he said, I don't know if it's his personal beliefs or if it's the Vietnam, because he's Vietnamese. He used to tell his friends, meet me at our normal meeting spot at, our normal time. He would never give a specific place and he would never give a specific time because say that, oh my God.
What now?
I went to the Library of Congress website to look up the book.
Babe, did you just take off his diaper?
This is until further notice.
He's gone. Don't worry. He's not naked.
These buildings are closed.
Okay.
So my friend believed that if he gave a specific time and date and there was a spirit listening, that spirit can take place as that friend that he's supposed to meet and meet them at a certain time. And then that's when his friend is something will happen to my friend. And then in the Cambodian culture, they said that you're not allowed to ever answer to anyone. Especially when you know that you're by yourself. Hi, Jumper.
If you, and this is what I tell people too, there are times where you will hear your name. Someone's calling your name, but nobody's around you, or you feel like someone behind you.
I can't tell you how many times I heard that happen to me so many times. I think even where I used to live also, I feel like someone is calling my name. No one did.
Oh, someone did. Something did.
And I also heard it here, I think once or twice or maybe a couple times. I don't remember. I thought I heard someone say Dwayne. And then I was like,
you're not supposed to respond to that.
What are they trying to accomplish by that?
I didn't know. I wouldn't know if it's a family member hollering for me or not.
No, it's not. It's not. What's that, Collective?
So what are they trying to accomplish by that?
By saying your name, you immediately recognize it. It has caught your attention. You acknowledged it. There's something I tell people too, and I still do this today. If you ever hear your door knock, you're not to open it unless you've looked out a window or a keyhole and make sure someone's on the other side. Because if you have a knock at your door and you open it to answer it, you just
invited them in.
Yes, you just give it.
And do you realize that when we were buying houses, my husband wanted to buy a house with the staircase that faced the front door. I did not pick that house. Our stairs, if you have a house, and it's my superstition, if you have a house with a staircase that's leading straight into the front door, like you can just go straight upstairs without like turning a corner or something, that is an easy way for the spirit to go upstairs and stay inside your house. Unless you have the mirror above your door that it's like an octagon or something, and there's a little mirror, that reflection that the ghost sees, if you have that above your house, will scare the ghost away and they won't come in your house. Now, in a lot of Japanese cultures, back in the ancient Japanese time,
actually the spirit will use the mirror as a conduit to go into, so it can go into each and every one of your mirrors in your house, because mirrors are also known as portals. That's why,
even on the outside.
Yep, that's why you're supposed to cover them up if the family member dies.
Like in The Conjuring.
I've
Oh,
never seen
yeah,
The
yeah.
Conjuring. So now in
Yeah.
Vietnamese culture, they believe that thing is supposed to scare off the spirits. And the Asian cultures.
Okay.
Now in Japan, back in the days, you see how the roofs are like super steep like this, and then at the end it curves off
Yeah.
because back in the days they believed that spirits jumped on the houses to try to get inside. And if you had a roof that angled and then it looped up back up into the air, that means the ghost jumped, and then you're kicking the ghost back up in the air, and they can't go into your home.
It's also whether you have the statue of those dogs in front of it to make
sorry?
sure. It would have the statues of the dogs that they would have that would be ward them off.
Or
Matter
gargoyle.
of fact, the reason why people had jack-o'-lanterns and stuff was to scare off spirits. The reason why it's called a trick or treat is that if you they came to your house and they knocked on your door and you didn't give them an offering, then they would come back and give you the treat
No.
with a trick with it. No, I'm good at the moment.
So what happens to the people who run out of candy
Yeah.
or who don't even participate?
That's the reason why I don't do Halloween.
You don't do Halloween?
I don't do trick or treat or anything like that because I
Oh,
know.
I always
know-
buy candy. I always buy a lot of candy. I buy like $50 of bags of candy, and I always
reason
have
why you-
leftovers.
The reason why you wear masks is that you're not supposed to be able to tell the difference between the living and the dead.
Hmm.
If you're giving an offering as candy, then if you actually have an entity that's disguised itself and you give it an offering, then you've given it a right to address you personally.
Okay, I don't think I'm doing Halloween.
Hun, does your religion believe in Halloween too? See, RJ's religion doesn't believe in Halloween.
Yeah,
No,
that's what I'm
Huh?
saying.
I'm
They
not
don't
doing
celebrate
Halloween.
it
You're not supposed to.
Never mind. Fuck it.
because it's a pagan holiday.
It's a very much a pagan holiday. Actually, it has ties that goes all the way back to Samrimi, which also goes all the way back to the deal with Lilith and Lucifer. Because Lilith, in the Jewish custom, was Adam's first wife,
Hmm.
but she didn't want to be submissive because she said, "I'm equal to you." So she rebels and becomes a demon goddess, which is also known as the Queen of Heaven. And anyone that prays to Mary is actually praying to Lilith. And she's also known to be the wife of the devil.
Hmm. I watched Lucifer.
Okay.
It's a very it's entertaining. It's
Yeah.
it has the religious side, but it also has the current ethical.
Oh yeah. And
Mhm.
it's like also I watch Supernatural. People sit there and go, "Oh, you can't watch a horror movie, or you can't do." No, you can. You can. You have to do things that you got to make sure that you yourself understand that if there's certain things. The reason why Conjuring 2 bothered people so bad was they actually used the real audio from Lorraine Warren and Ed Warren that where the demon was talking. Freak people
I've
out.
never watched it. I have no interest in watching it because, I'm I don't want to.
Yeah.
Scared. Now,
This is good, Nikki.
have you watched that Sabrina show on
No,
Netflix?
that's very satanic.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
Never
I
seen
enjoy it on an entertaining part.
But they're actually using real demons and also real magic.
What? Oh, fuck no. Fuck that.
They're
No
using
way.
Yeah, they're using real things. They're using things that when I watched to see what people are opening up in their house, and I was like, oh my god, they're actually using ancient magic. They're using actual literal conjuring words. They're calling upon actual living demons in that show. And
Mm-mm.
yeah, when you recognize that, you're going, oh, this is not just for entertainment purpose. The writers of this is actually doing this because they want you to use the
No
Black
way.
Mirror. They want you to use your Black Mirror
No,
of a portal into your house.
I ain't doing
And
shit.
that's what a computer
This is a Black Mirror.
Black Mirror.
The
It's a
TV,
black portal. Yeah, TV's a Black Mirror.
phone.
Oh well, thanks a lot.
Yep.
Now I'm never gonna watch Sabrina again.
A phone is too.
Well, not
Uh,
Lucifer though, right?
Lucifer has what I've seen so far of it is it's going on the it's based more on the comic side of it. Like there was a comic book that was called Lucifer that Warner Brothers produced. It uses the names, but I have not seen it use any of the sigils. Supernatural, though, the TV show ended up starting to the very end of it started using actual real sigil magic
Never seen it.
that went back to the Kabbalah religion.
I
I
never
think
seen
I only watched up to like season 5,
I never seen it.
but I
know my.
I stopped. But it was like sporadically towards the end of me watching it.
Uh,
See, I actually have to keep up with this stuff because I don't know if I'll get if I get a phone call from someone or get someone needs help, and I have to ask them questions, and they're saying, "Well, none of this happened until I started giving." I started doing this, or I said, well, is there anything new that you started watching on TV? Is there anything new that you started reading? Is there anything? And, 9 out of 10 times people are like, well, what's that got to do with anything? I'm like, it's got everything to do with it if the subject matter is dealing with real entities. And so a lot of times people will say and tell me stuff like that, and I'm going, okay, so yeah. You have those sigils on your Black Mirror that's scrying with that Black Mirror, and you're allowing that to happen.
I watched every single episode, every season so far of Sabrina.
Yep.
So, a question.
Mhm.
So, witchcraft, aren't witches the people that kind of started the voodoo doll type thing, or
That's a
is that more of a non?
Haitian.
Yeah, dealing with Haitian, you're dealing with voodoo. And voodoo is different than Wicca and witchcraft.
Okay.
But that goes back to ancestor worship still too. If you've never seen the movie, and you should, if you can ever find the movie, The Serpent and the Rainbow. It's an older movie. It's actually based off of a true story. And it deals with this American doctor that goes down to Hades, and Haiti, thank you, goes down to Haiti, and because apparently this guy that had died 7-8 years before is now walking around alive, but he's like a zombie.
Mm.
And so he goes down there to disprove and say that they're faking this.
He's a white man, right?
Yeah, the doctor's a white man.
And didn't he die or something? Or
He ended up being possessed by the voodoo, by the magic, and he now his last name is Davis. He now writes books based off of his what he had to go through, and he's learned that it's not just the blowfish and these toxins that they give to these people. He knows that there's a spiritual element to it, but again, he doesn't have he's still searching to find out, how's this happen in Western culture, medicine? This is something that can't happen, but this is actually happening. And it goes back to the voodoo.
You see The Princess and the Frog?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Never.
They introduced voodoo in Disney.
Oh yeah.
And what do they call the man? The Shadow Man.
The Shadow Man.
The Shadow Man. It was hoodoo and voodoo. I think I asked you this. Hoodoo and voodoo.
Mhm.
The same thing?
They are the same, but they have different core beliefs. Like one's more with nature, and then the other one is more with spirits. But they both conjure the same thing.
I
And-
heard hoodoo is worse than voodoo.
There's sacrifices with that one.
Oh.
You have to sacrifice something. You have to have
Okay.
the blood.
Mm-mm. Well-
Wait, you have to have what blood?
Offering.
You gotta have living blood. It's
Like
got
the chicken or the goat. I've seen.
or a human.
So it's
Maybe.
people
Fuck
who
that.
practice Satanism, are they like consuming themselves with the bad entities, or are they like do it like say like a person's like worshiping God like type of thing?
There's a power that's to be given. It's a give and take, and in that is that to be a Satanist, you have to denounce everything that the Creator created. You have to denounce it all. In doing so, you have what's known also as a black mass. And again, this is dealing with sex magic. It's dealing with sacrifices, and there is a such thing as sex magic. A lot of people are like, "What the hell is that?"
What the fuck?
Exactly what it sounds like.
It's exactly what it sounds like.
No. No.
Isn't that like when
mm-mm.
you're you're giving yourself to the higher power?
No, it actually goes with pornography.
Mm.
So
Matter-
all of you guys partaking and watching all that stuff, shame on you.
Really, for me, I didn't know it till I started being. There was a thing that I was dealing with. It was for someone that was dealing with what was a incubus and a succubus.
What the fuck?
Okay, an incubus or a succubus is the same demon, except it can morph into a female form or morph into a male form, and it has sex with you. And it takes the seed from the man, and it becomes a succubus, and will have sex with a woman. And so, if you have an incubus and a succubus, it comes with sex magic. Typically, it means to degrade yourself, to make yourself as if you will be like an animal and have sex with anything that moves.
Wow.
Wait, what?
And so, when you're seeing,
What the fuck?
and this is going to get graphic for anybody, but I'm going to just say this: but if you're seeing something that deals with anal, or deals with all that, or deals with degrading the body in a sexual position, that's sex magic.
Wow.
And it gets really dark. You even have sometimes there's shit on themselves and have shit on other people, or cut themselves and bleed.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I've seen people. I've
R. Kelly.
heard people doing that. Yeah.
R. Kelly.
Have somebody pee on you.
Oh no. No.
That goes into sex magic.
That's
All
like degrading yourself.
hmm
Oh hell! I heard
That's
of
why,
someone-
like, so I don't want to really say, but if I was ever stuck where I needed money, I would never degrade myself and become an exotic dancer.
I'll be honest.
I would be homeless before I did that.
I'll be honest with you.
Mm-mm.
I didn't think anything was wrong with pornography.
Huh?
I didn't think anything was wrong with pornography at all.
And
Even as a minister, I was like, okay, it's just a woman. It's just a natural thing that's going to happen. It was when I started going through and recognizing attachments, and I was going through my training, I guess you could say. And all of a sudden, I realized was like, wait a second, okay, the Kama Sutra. Well, the Kama Sutra is a whole book of sex magic. And then you sit there and you're going,
It didn't work anyways.
no, and I'm like, what's sex magic? And then when I started going into it, like, are you? So, me looking at pornography and seeing pornography, and it's just something I've always thought was natural because that's what humans do is they have sex. And I'm going, oh shit, I'm allowing these things to have these positions and these things, and it invades my mind, invades my thought, and then these attachments come with it. Oh yeah, I had to go through a whole detox type of thing before I could, yeah. And thinking that stuff that I took that was just for granted, that I thought, oh, it's no big deal. No, it went into generational curses.
Oh my fucking god.
Generational curses, dealing with other things. And when you're going to learn about the demonic side of things, and you're also learning about the spiritual side of things, you start to realize that the ones that work together are always in opposition of the one. Yes. No, I'm good, baby girl. And it went back to the one religion. It went back to, no, not religion, but it went back to one person. And the one person that delivered me from it and delivered me from their influence was Jesus. And when that was like another confirmation for me, and I was very surprised. And I didn't realize that even watching those things, that's when I started realizing what you put in front of your face can also influence you mentally. It puts in an idea, and the sad thing is that it actually, for guys, it puts in this idea of a woman that is not real. That's you're not gonna ever find a woman that's like that.
Yeah.
It's fantasy, and it's
Yeah.
for the sex magic. It is for us, and it's been documented. When I started doing my research and stuff, for a guy watching pornography, it's just like a guy that's sitting there shooting up heroin.
Oh,
Goes off in their brain. It's the same chemicals and the same reaction that they did if they shot up with heroin. Same thing.
God.
And I was like blown away. And you become addicted to it. When you become addicted to it, that typically means you have allowed an attachment to influence you. And that attachment will always make it a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more.
It's the sin of lust.
Yes, the sin of lust. I never understood. There's a part in the scriptures that, and this is when I was learning. It's interesting because Jesus says in the scriptures, he says the guy that lusts after that woman in his mind has committed the adultery, as if he committed the adultery in the physical act, but he just did it mentally. Jesus was telling us that's sex magic. That's how it starts. When you idolize, when you believe or think something in that sexual manner, you're not only in your mind, you've degraded that individual. You don't look at that individual as an equal. You look at that individual to be conquered and to be controlled and to be subjugated to you. It was eye-opening because there's a lot of things I had to let go and realize that shit, there's a lot of things I've done wrong, and that's the interesting thing about for Jesus is the fact that even though I got it wrong, he didn't hold it against me. He still taught me. He still answered my prayers. He still helped me, and I was still able to help others, even when I was still doing some of that stuff, not knowing I did it. And that's what it means to, the mind of the innocent. But that's what it does, is to rob you of your innocence.
So I don't know if I'm the only person that thinks this, but insane asylums, I feel like they have those because the individual, they might be mentally ill or whatnot, but like I feel like my perspective of it is that they've been taken over by something and they're no longer like with the rest of the society, how society functions.
They don't meet the criteria of what the normal society is. And can I say something that I think could be it might not be true, but most women back in the 50s, a lot of women were put in the insane asylums because they weren't they weren't doing their role.
Yes.
Like, what do you mean?
Front, like, if I wanted to go wear pants or if I wanted to go to work as a woman back in the 40s and 50s, there's something wrong with me.
Yes.
Then I would get sent to an insane asylum. And a lot of the people in the 50s did frontal lobotomy, especially on women. And when they did that, they basically, a frontal lobotomy, I always thought was like they just inject something, put the needle in the eye, and then they pull it out. And they're a little bit different, but they're scraping a little bit of your brain.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking that's gonna alter you, and then they don't realize. And some women went home because they were kind of like numb, but no, they made them insane after that because they scratched up their brain, and they ended up dying sometime after that, thinking that that was the cure for their psychosis, and that. Then when they died, they said, "Oh, that's because of the psychosis that killed them."
Oh God!
Now, dealing with insane asylums and dealing with people that have mental illness, there is mental illness, and not everything is spiritual. Some things just happens in nature.
Yeah.
And then there's some things that don't happen in nature. Now, I was a teacher for autism and severely profound, and I had some of the sweetest kids you could have ever imagined. Even though they didn't function on a high level, they were so sweet and loving. But I have been asked to be on a case that was dealing with this one boy, and I was not a teacher at this time, but they knew that I had dealt with autism and severe profound. They were like, something else is going on with him, and we need to know, what that is. Oh, you got a beautiful cat, man.
Yeah.
Nice latte.
On.
This is Jingle Bell. This cat saved my life, literally. So, but so 2 cases that I have been called in on. That dealt with these 2 kids. When I met with, they were at 2 different places. They were miles apart from one another, but yet their attitude and their behavior was identical. Which you're dealing with kids that have autism and stuff like that. No kid is the same. They're all different. They all have their own little quirks and stuff like that too. Well, one of the individuals also would want to go into a closet and take all their clothes off. So they were thinking that maybe something had happened to them. The psychiatrist was there to saying that, okay, something sexually must have happened to this child for this to happen and stuff. But immediately I had gone into the room, and the child, I didn't even know which child it was, independently got up and went to the other side of the room and stayed away from me. Which was odd because the kid had to be carried or moved by hand to get them to walk to even go to places. But yet, he independently got up and walked away, clearly on the other side of me. As I was starting to get to understand what was going on, I was going through the IEPs and going through stuff like this, and I was just asked to be even by the parents, to just look and supervise, just look at the child and see if there was things that they could do educational wise to help him open up in some ways. And he would get violent when I got close to him.
Oh God.
So I would have to back off. I would leave. I'd be like, he's getting upset. I don't know what it is. Thought it was because I had a beard, so I shaved my beard off. Got the same reaction out of him. Let my beard start growing back. Still was getting the same. So it wasn't my appearance that this child was reacting to. The child was reacting to what the spirit side of me. And for the first time, the child actually spoke, which was a nonverbal child. was actually it was one time that I sat there and I was caught off guard because I was not expecting what was happening before me, because I'm going in the to help with teach is a program to help with autism and stuff like that. And one of the other ladies that also were there says he gets the same reaction gives you the same reaction he gives me. And that's why I can't be in that room anymore, because it sets him off. So as I'm starting to talk to the people that work with him, and also the parents, and they're not religious. They were not religious. And so the common factor that was happening was people coming in, and if they were true believers in Jesus Christ, he reacted to it, which was just, and for me, and I would come home and I would share the stuff with my wife without saying the name of the child or anything, and I would be like, "This is how he does. You work with them too. This is odd, isn't it? This is not normal." And she was like, "No." And so she told me to just say, and it was early on, and she says, "Well, just, because Nikki's always like, well, just pray over them. Just, you don't have to do it out loud. You don't have to go put your hands on them or anything like that. You just pray for them." And so I just did that. I just said, man, I was like, "Lord Jesus, just please help me be able to reach this kid." And I was saying this to myself. I wasn't even near him. And he turns his head and looks right at me. And he comes after me.
Wow.
So,
How? Like in a violent, like trying to murder type way?
try to rip my throat out.
Oh shit.
What?
I have a scar here.
Let me full screen you.
On my elbow.
Oh yeah, yeah, I see it. What happened there?
Because I was not, I wasn't prepared. I dealt with it, and the weirdest thing that happened is, the room where I was in, all of a sudden flooded for no reason. The pipes in the ceiling at this school burst and flooded the room.
Wow.
All at the time that this child is getting angry and mad, and it was the first time for me. I didn't know what to do, to be honest. I was completely caught off guard because I did not know what to do, and the parents were like, "What are we going to do?" And I was like, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm literally lost for words with him and what's happened and what's taken place. And, now the ceiling's come down, and a display caught my arm and ripped my arm backwards, where I ended up having to have the surgery and stuff. And I'm trying to, rationalize this as saying that this is all circumstances, this is all coincidence. But it all came from this one kid. And I remember the teacher looked at me and says, and the parent was like, "Can we just pray over him? Because something's not going on." And and so they allowed me. And I was very, 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 very timid. And I made sure that my ass was covered, because I was like,
I can't blame you.
Public school, legal wise, I can't be doing this, and I can't be doing this, and nothing. But at the same time, I was like, I can't let this child keep having this. And it wasn't instantaneously that I said a prayer and then he was miraculously healed. No. But I told the parents, what to do, and to constantly be a positive, to keep putting more positive. And he became with no anger, to the point where he didn't have any anger.
Wow.
So he went from always being angry, always attacking, always biting, all this. And then slowly, with that.
Do you know?
What's
do
that?
You know? Do you know anything about him as of today, kind of thing?
I do actually. One of the caseworkers that works with him, he's now an adult, and he actually gets to do those jobs where they put things together, so he can actually be at a group home, and he can actually do stuff to put things together where he couldn't do that at all.
How's
And
he doing though?
good.
Like,
And says and I'm the one name he says a lot. Even the caseworker sister says your name. He remembers you.
nice, kind type kid right now.
Yeah.
Or oh, nice.
Does he remember anything that happened to him?
No.
Oh
So was
God,
he possessed?
he had a demon in him,
I don't think he had a demon in him.
or a
To be
spirit,
honest,
evil entity type shit.
I think that he was I think he was a sensitive, and whenever I go back and I relook at the case and I look back at it, I'm going, wow, the school right across the school was a graveyard. And where would he
Oh
run?
God.
Where would he, when he got out of the school, he was also a runner. And where they would find him is would always be in the graveyard. He would always run to the graveyard.
No.
No.
So why would he attack
Get
you?
me the hell out.
Wouldn't he want you to pray for him? Unless the spirit had.
Spirits of the dead. Spirit of the dead.
It had
Or
to come
dead-
from the family,
dead-
it had to
or-
come from mom. And
Oh.
since she was his authority, I think in all honesty, the child himself was a sensitive, even though he was autistic. I do believe he was sensitive. And I think he saw things, but he couldn't convey what they were. And then he was easily to be manipulated by his emotion, because they are, when you have an autistic child, there's no bad child. And children, even within that state, are still innocent. But you can have entities that will try and
Manipulate them.
and manipulate them. Plus, his home life was not doing so well either, because the family was also splitting up around this time too. So there was a lot of factors that were falling into place with this one. And so yeah, but that
It's good to know. It's good to know he's doing good.
yes.
I'm just curious. He far away from you guys or something?
Oh yeah, he is. Yeah, we're nowhere near that area anymore. But
I'm just saying. I was just saying if you were near or something like that, you gotta go visit or something.
well, you'll probably they occasionally reach out and send pictures to Nikki's Facebook and stuff still today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Hey, it's good to know that he's doing good.
Mhm.
But
and that was one case working with 200 plus kids, and out of all that was just as the one.
what, the kid angry? Like, for an example, like, was the kid angry, like trying to kill, like for an example, Wolverine gets his claws out and he's trying to murder your ass
He was very
in
aggressive
anger,
in anger. Yeah, a lot
like Wolverine type thing. Or-
more like a rabid kid. Like you would sit there, I hate to say it like that, but the best I could describe is like a ravenous dog, one in which is showing its teeth, barking and stuff. Is
Like a wolf.
yeah.
Oh shit.
So
Oh man, I bet that was creepy.
no,
Scary.
I won't lie.
I
Well,
bet
I didn't know-
I bet you never been so terrified of a child in your life.
I wasn't terrified of the child.
Or scared or something like that.
I
Not
was
terrified.
alarmed. I was very alarmed.
Oh,
And when certain things happened and took place, I mean, it was odd. Yeah, it's still to this day one of the one things that I still sit there and go, okay, all these coincidences happen at the same time. I don't think so, because I mean, when I got injured, it was a year before I could get back into that area to even do anything with him. So I had been injured and was not able to come back from my injury for a full year.
Oh god.
It was, it when it happened, it got me where I was not able to go back the next day. It was, and I couldn't draw anymore or anything like
I'm
that because it messed up all the stuff in the whole arm, elbow from the
I'm
water.
just
Yeah.
I'm just asking. If you can't say, that's fine. How old was he at the time?
I
that
can't.
All this. Okay, that's fine. I was just asking.
That's something I
Yeah, that's understandable.
are you thinking of any? There was one. There was one that I have been asked about, which was at yours student. They would go into the closets.
There were several students. That's just one of them.
Well, that was the one that actually I said.
No, we had a couple other ones too.
No, he was. Now Nikki had one, and I wasn't able to do anything for this child. One
Anything to help
this child. I wasn't able to do anything to help this child, and this child here, I would have to say, because of his age and what he was, and he was an autistic kid. This was a regular kid, and the look in his eyes would literally make your hair stand up on end.
Like he, as if he was possessed or some shit.
Yeah,
Or worse.
He killed.
yeah. I mean, it was, and you're talking about a fourth grader,
Okay.
and
Wow.
even the women, the teacher women were scared of him, and I just got to see him because I was asked to come there and see if there was anything that I could show them in the Teach platform, and I was like, "There's nothing. There's nothing. He knows what he's doing, and he enjoys the reaction that he's getting from it."
So when you taught, did you have like little things that you put up in your room for bad energy to go away?
What was that?
They said when you taught, did you have any like things you put in the room to like divert bad energy or?
Honestly, what I would do before my classroom, and I ended up working in juvie, and I did this before the kids would get there.
Mhm.
I actually prayed over the room, and I would actually pray over the desk. So I would do that in the morning, and then I also had my Bible that was in my desk. I didn't like have it where everybody could see it because didn't want them to be influenced by it. But I would have it for my own. If I was by myself or it was in the early mornings or stuff like that, I would have prayer, and that's what I would do before school started, before I even let the kids in the room or anything like that. They wouldn't know what I was doing, but that's what I would do. And I was very blessed, very lucky, because I got to a lot of kids, especially the ones that were coming out of juvie or on the verge of going into juvie.
Mm.
They love coming to the classroom because they were like, in your classroom, it's calm. It's, and you're more laid back, and you're not aggressive with us. And that's just because of I looked at it going, these kids have already got too much shit that they're already having to deal with, and they're kids. I don't need to add anything else to it. I did lose one kid to gang violence.
Gang violence. Oh
Yeah.
god.
And after that, that's when I got out of teaching. That was really difficult for him. He was a good kid, and
Mm.
but again, if your home life is gearing you towards a certain direction, it's kind of hard for those kids to get out of that unless something really happens that gets them out of it. And he was smart kid. He wanted to go to college. He wanted to do this, but he was like, my cousins and them are going to make me join join their gang, and I was like, you don't have to. He's like, oh, you don't understand, Mr. D. You don't get a say in our in our house. Who does and does not. And there was a shootout, and he was the only casualty.
Wow.
And so yeah, that was
Oh man.
that's still difficult for me even today.
Man, sorry to hear that.
So yeah.
This was way off subject, but I was about to ask, like, what inspired you guys to create your username?
The community for all of us.
Yeah, that and like your autocorrect primer.
I came up with autocorrect primer really just by accident. I have a thing that's called Bitter Tea Media, and I have a website that we put comic strips up and all and stuff right now up on it. And I was getting into I watched MGO. It's another toy reviewer, and I love Transformers, and so I was like. So my wife said, well, do like what you do with the name, make it where it's going to be memorable. And I was like, well, I'm going to pick something I hate, and I hate autocorrect on my phone. I hate not talking to my phone, and it autocorrects me. And I'm like, you bastard, I do not want you to fix my words. And so that's where autocorrect comes from. And my love is Optimus Prime. So that's where the primer comes from. Now, the community for all of us, that came from, I was actually a part of another group. And I was part of another group that was really getting a lot of was building up pretty quickly and stuff. And we were doing a podcast and dealt with the Transformers community, and it was good. But I started noticing that certain people were not allowed to be a part of that community. You know, if they weren't going to be beneficial for them, but they weren't going to be allowed to have the interview. If they weren't going to up their numbers, then they weren't going to have a lot of stuff to do with them. And they said a lot of crap, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. And I was dealing with trolls also because they found out where I lived, and I was dealing with all this, and I was like, a lot of this stuff is happening, and all because we had this other individual started that came into the group, but we never saw his face. We never knew who he was. He was like behind an avatar, and then certain things started, like negative was happening to me and my family, and so I backed off for a while, and then I was like, I want to create something that it includes everybody. Doesn't matter how big your channel is. Doesn't matter how small your channel is. I want to know what makes you like what you do, and in doing that, I wanted it to be a community that where it's comics, whether it's movies, whether it's TV shows, whether it's games, whether it's toys, whatever you want it to be. That's this community that you'll actually be able to relate with everybody on it. So that's where that came from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
And Lord Master Starscream, he used to be Lord Starscream, and I was like, you got to be different. And so
Yeah.
the middle of
Yeah, the original name for my channel was Lord Starscream because that's my favorite Decepticon, Starscream. And autocorrect primer came up with the idea to put Master in there, so he came up with Lord Master Starscream. So I went with that.
So Starscream
then-
dies, doesn't he?
yeah, but he
And he-
becomes a ghost. He becomes a ghost, which is like
And for a while, and I'm going to point this out there, a couple of times I thought about changing my name to Lord Dinobot, which is a character in Beast Wars, and also autocorrect primer came up with another name about Cyclonus, Lord Master Cyclonus or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
I like
Yeah,
that.
that-
That'd be different.
Lord Master Dino or Lord Dinobot. I don't.
Yeah. That's cool.
Because I did think it
And-
could be like Lord Starscream Dreamer, because then he would be LSD, and I don't know.
And what about you, Babe Mahal? How about your?
Do you I know Cognitive and Master Starscream doesn't know these days. Do you remember Otto during the TV where they had the TV chats?
Yes. Yeah.
I think it was around and AOL and stuff.
Mhm. Yeah.
I don't remember what that was called.
MySpace stuff also that was with it.
It was before that. It was
Yeah.
before MySpace. It was before Google. That chat on the TV, like it was like I think it was Dish Network or DirecTV that did that.
Mhm.
And so I had to come up with something, and I have no idea why I came up with Baby Mahal, but I wanted Mahal because Mahal was Filipino,
Oh, okay.
meaning love, or depending on how you say it, it could also mean expensive. Baby, I just threw it in there, and then you know what? At the time when I made my account, I didn't realize that the lowercase L and the 3 1s after it looked like either 4 L's or 4 1s. So that's why I capitalize every other letter, and I've always done that. And I've always had that name since I first got onto the internet, which was during that time. And I can't remember what year. I think it was like in the 90, I want to say 96, 97. I was on the internet longer than you, Otto.
Yeah. Yeah. Nikki's only got you beat because she was on the internet back in 92, 93.
And I also forgot to mention this. This was way before I met Otto, and I did start YouTube.
It was on the internet in 96.
Where?
This
Oh, go
was
ahead.
way. Oh, this was way before I met Otto. This was right around when Transformers: The Last Night was coming out. Since I enjoyed that movie and I enjoyed Hot Rod in that movie, and after watching Hot Rod, I enjoyed that character. And when I started my YouTube channel, I originally the name of this YouTube was originally Hot Rod 5959, but I since changed it to Lord Starscream. Then Autocorrect Primer came up with Lord Master Starscream. So that's
you
the
have to
history.
explain what Hot
So-
Rod, that's like a porn name or something. Hot Rod. Oh.
I'm hot. You want to ride my rod?
I'm a
Oh,
late dinner. I got my up choke my food now. I can't say something like that on the fly. You make people nauseated. What's wrong with you?
my name was something it was way back in the day.
Oh,
It used to be
shoot.
like King James.
Hey, guys.
028
look
on PlayStation.
Look who it is. Look who's
Oh.
here.
Oh, hello there, Jimbo. So you can
big boy. He didn't hear. Okay, so what was that, Cognitive?
So my name was really long back in the day. And
Sorry,
I was like, I
Lucas.
gotta change this. And I was a big LeBron fan, so that's why my name was King James. But people call me James all the time, and I was like, I got thrown off by it because that was not my name. So I was like, everybody be like, come here, James, come here, James. I was like, that's not my name. It just felt weird. So I was like, all right. I put in a name generator because I was like, I want something that's going to be different, way different than anybody else. So I came up with the cognitive plague due to the psychological thoughts of cognitive thinking and
Mhm.
whatnot. So I was like, that makes me sound smart. So I'm going to put that in my name. And then plague, because I was obsessed with plague doctors at the time. And then I was just like, I'm just going to shorten it to TTV cognitive.
like with the ones that have the nose where they actually put the different herbs inside of it so they can smell it to keep away the
Yep.
the evil spirits. Yep.
Yep.
What about you, Jimbo? When did you get your name?
Yeah.
Damn, you guys put me on the spot since they joined, huh? Honestly, Jimbowski just came out of nowhere when I had got my first PS3, but I was like about 13. And I was like, what kind of name should I make my profile? And for some reason, my family would call me Jimbo from American Pie, the first one. So they'd
Okay.
be like, "Hey, Jim, Jimbo," because my name would be Jaime. So I was like, "All right, okay, I'll use Jimbo." And then I was like, but then I wanted like I don't know, like a Chinese Japanese name. So then I was like, I don't know if that would help me out if I were to reference it as a Japanese Chinese name. So then I was like, Jimbo, and then I was like, Jimbowski.
Darn it. I'm hitting
And I was
buttons
like,
over by accident.
and then one of my little cousins was with me at that time, and he's like, "Why don't you just use Jimbowski? That sounds pretty cool." And I was like, "Yeah, you know what? Screw it, I'll do it." But at that time, I didn't think that PlayStation Network was going to keep your name permanently for so long until now you can finally change it after so many years. So my name stayed with my profile name for like over the years, so long, and I was just like, okay, well, that's my name. Or you guys can call me Jimbo for short, since like Mahal would always call me Jimbo.
I was thinking it's like
So I was like, okay, well, we'll go with that. Yeah, well, that too, The Big Lebowski. That movie's hilarious. Oh my gosh.
right.
I just saw
Yeah,
that like 2 weeks ago.
You just saw the Big Lebowski
That's
2
a
weeks ago. Where have you been living?
No, well, again, I just saw it again.
Oh,
But-
again.
Yeah, and it's funny how
Again.
like it's all over a rug that was peed on.
Yep.
Oh God.
I love Sam Elliott.
Mm.
There you go.
Yep, I love Sam Elliott.
Got Pete on the rug.
Anyhow, hello, Cognitive. How you doing?
I'm not doing too bad, man. I'm just chilling, Chilling. with
Staying
my life.
warm.
Yeah, it's like -13 over here, so it's pretty cold.
Oh.
Yeah. And we got wind chill, so it makes it even colder.
Oh crap, -13.
I can say something
What the
that'll. I know what could warm you up real quick.
What?
It's a joke. Don't get offended, okay? Putting that beanie in a fireplace.
Oh.
I'm wearing it. We're both wearing beanies.
Yeah, but his is Green Bay.
I think it'll make me warmer, actually.
Oh God, talking about Walmart. I've been watching this guy on YouTube called what's his name?
Huh?
The one that does all the reactions and stuff. Fluffy.
Gabriel Iglesias.
Yeah, and he's like, when these people go to Walmart, they some crazy sons of bitches going up in Walmart. Well, look at what they're wearing. He's now doing this thing with tattoos of people having Walmart tattooed to their neck or on their arm. I'm like, y'all love you some Walmart. Now, don't get me wrong, I like some Walmart too. I'll go up in that thing, come out broke, but I love me some Walmart.
Man,
I'm not going to tattoo it on me or have a tramp stamp that's got Walmart.
I'm actually proud of working for Walmart.
A tramp stamp.
Yeah, but you don't want a tramp stamp that says Walmart.
Hell no, I don't.
See, that's somebody trying to put something in your buggy you don't want.
by the way,
Shopping
Otto.
Your prison wallet.
A shopping cart.
Shopping cart,
By,
not a buggy.
No
by the
buggy.
way, Otto,
Your shopping
were you
cart.
able to?
Thank God it's
Were you able to go shopping today, Otto?
No, I was not
Dang
able to go shopping today. I didn't look. I got up for a brief moment this morning, and then I fell asleep. And then Nikki woke me up at 2 and says, "You got the show tonight, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." She says, "Well, Lord Master Sarge, he's already asked, are we doing the show tonight?" And so
Yeah.
I guess I gotta wake
Hey,
up.
Otto. Hey,
Yeah.
Otto. We both need our T-Rex Megatron.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Somebody in this group's already got it.
What?
Yeah, and
what
I
happened?
can't
What?
believe someone here has
Nah,
the
just
T-Rex
kidding.
Megatron, and me and Otto are both jealous that the individual in here that has it.
I won't touch it.
We
I
don't
won't
got-
open it.
Ah!
I will
we-
not
we-
open it. It is beautiful. It is pretty.
I'll be
Oh,
honest,
no,
I
I-
won't open mine when I get mine either. I'll be leaving that something in a box.
Otto, we need to get our Megatrons. Yes.
That, I'm gonna go check real quick. And see
Oh
if
yeah,
that's
yeah.
it.
You'll make a big fire out of that. Throw the sweater and the beanie up in there.
No,
Hey,
No, you know what? I used to actually
does
like
that mean
Green
my
Bay.
beanie too? That mean
No.
my beanie too?
No,
No.
he's got the Green Bay Packers.
Oh.
what team do you like? Oh,
What?
so what team do you like?
49ers.
Oh, this sucks. I want to wonder.
No. At least I don't like the Raiders.
They even make the playoffs?
Oh, wait.
I don't really watch.
Damn.
football.
Wait.
No.
It has to be like the Brady Bunch team. Be like, oh wait, man, that way no, this way.
We should do that. We should do that one day. Like, just go like.
I should show y'all
Well,
my.
like this one. I mean that one or this
Wait.
one.
Yeah, look. Otto,
Oh wait,
Brady Bunch. We should do that one day. That'd be hella funny.
I should show y'all. I actually got a letter from my professional football team when I played football.
I'm not really into sports, but I know my fiance likes the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, you better not tell her because that's who actually wrote for me to come play football for him before I got sick with cancer. I've got a letter from the Dallas Cowboys
my
defensive
bad.
coach. Yep. I was thinking, I guess the Dallas Cowboys could be that good if they wanted somebody like me. But
It's
yeah.
alright.
and I
I
got
would-
Maryland Terrapins. I had a full ride for football. And then I had to
And
get sick.
cancer, and cancer
screwed it
fucks up
all
your
up.
entire life,
Well,
ruins everything.
I look at it this way. If I went that way,
What the heck?
see, if I went that way, I wouldn't became a Christian. So I look at it as a win-win for me because I don't like hot weather, so I would definitely wouldn't want to go to Texas. And so yeah. I am trying to remember my password to get into my
1, 2, 3,
Big
4,
Bad
5,
Toys.
6.
Big Bad Toy Store. God damn it! I keep putting the. Oh shit!
You got locked
Otto.
out.
Hey Otto, hang on. Hey Otto, do you need to put in a PIN number? Otto, do you need to put in a PIN number?
Y'all know I can't do two things at once. Give me a second. I got this.
I want to show you guys something. Hold on.
I'm just saying, Otto. For some reason, I'm just saying, if you need to put in your PIN number, for some reason, if you have a cell phone code to your phone like this right here, you need to put in the exact code to your phone. That's your PIN number for some reason. Because I had to sign into something that says we need your PIN number. I didn't know what it was, so I put in the code to log into my phone. That's your PIN number. So there you friggin' go.
Well, I got confirmation that I'm going to get my He-Man figures in within the next 2 weeks.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Let me guess. Is there bad news?
Well, it's been pushed to April for the Megatron.
What about the Megatron? What
It's
happened
been pushed
him?
to April.
Fuck!
I was like,
Fuck!
I was like,
Motherfucker!
nope. I probably will get Nikki's Scorpion King Scorponok in for I get the.
God
Megatron.
dang it! Why is it being pushed back? Dickheads! Oh no, Jimbo!
Oh, Jimbo, don't leave us.
Look at the
Come
price.
back, please!
Of what?
What is that?
I don't know. It says 6606.
For what?
For what?
Something I purchased.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'll be
Wait.
having to find something else to add to that.
Megatron?
There's Jimbo.
Well, see, I didn't think anything of it because it was 6606.
Yeah, it's because that O is giving you. Oh, it's 6. There you go.
Yeah, $66.
I just walked into that one right now.
So yeah, I was all like, "Oh, should I return something or should I buy something?" And I was like, "Oh, it's not 666. It's
Still.
6606." So I think I was safe.
That's a lot of sixes.
That is. Do you want to know what that actually means though in the actual Arabic and Hebrew?
What?
Wait, the 3-6 thing
Mm-hmm.
or the si-
It says
what
that
is-
it is the number of a man, and the ones that have wisdom will know who the man is.
Satan?
What it means is that name will be subjugated to something that will also be created by man, that will also be created, and the idol will come alive, which means you give up your authority and your free will.
Hmm.
Isn't the numbers
you.
you're supposed to be really worried about 333?
It's more 666 because it is the number of a man. Not only that, it's known as the creation has not been fully complete. There hasn't been a day of rest, and it's a mockery of the 3. But the 666 actually means that it will be a thing that will be created for man, that he will give up his authority and his free will to obtain it. Did you know that every barcode you have on your books, on your food, the first number is a 6,
Wait, what?
the middle number is a 6, and the last
Dude.
number is a 6.
What the
So
fuck?
I need, let me pull this up.
I need to find an item.
All right, so here's a barcode. Okay,
Let me full screen it. So layout.
so in the barcode you have these different shapes.
Uh-huh.
But you have a repetitive shape that starts here, goes there, and then goes at the end. It's actually 6, then a 6, and then a 6. The rest of these are all different codes for numbers. But on every barcode, the first number is a 6, the middle number is a 6, and the last number is a 6. And that's on every barcode. Now, here's the thing, too. When you see the barcode, that means you have to buy or sell. So with the buy or sell, people think, oh, the barcode's the mark of the beast. It is not. It is created for the image of the beast, which means in the Bible, an idol that comes alive. Well, idol that comes alive that's created by man is artificial intelligence. It says you will not be able to buy or sell, will not be able to hide, will not be able to get away from it. So imagine this. What if we create the beast and it's actually artificial intelligence, and is able to track everything through social media and video cameras? You can never get away from the beast, but it can always track you and find you where you're at.
Mm.
That's what it actually means. It actually means that man creates an idol that comes alive, that is able to talk, is able to think on its own.
Still creepy.
Yeah. So what it says, it's right hand and its forehead. In the Middle Eastern culture, your right hand is your authority. Your forehead is your free will. So you will allow this system to think for you, to purchase for you, to answer for you. Now think about this for a second. When you're writing something, does your phone automatically sometimes know what the next word you're going to put in there before you do?
Even in my emails, when I'm sending my emails to school.
You don't know why?
The predictions, right? Your words.
Yeah, your words, which
Algorithm.
Yeah.
is actually a small version of a AI. It's learning. You're teaching a baby AI, which goes back to the cloud and teaches the actual system itself on what you like, what you purchase, what you watch, and what you do.
Mm.
And it has a code that's with it, and the code is a barcode, and the barcode that goes with it begins with a 6, 6, and 6. Ooh, some feet. There's some feet
Hell no.
right now.
Heck no.
Jimbo's got some kinky stuff going on right now.
Oh, heck yeah. Heck yeah.
Don't mind my video,
Heck yeah.
guys. Sorry.
I know this is late
No.
night.
Heck yeah.
This is late night TV.
Let's get down.
Let me.
Don't mind. Don't. My lady's just trying to interfere in the chat.
That's awesome. Sorry.
Whose turn is it now?
I know.
Who's next?
Me,
Oh,
I'm gonna be
shit.
right back. I'm gonna go to the
Oh.
restroom. I've been
Don't
thinking too
you
much.
dare.
Stop.
I swear, I think he's going to come back doing something. You all right,
There's too
man?
much now. Yeah, my lady's just. Yeah.
Hey, by the way, Jimbo, have you saw the new episode of WandaVision?
No, I've been meaning to watch it. I know this one's gonna be the. Oh, my bad. You're hearing the echo. I have it on my YouTube on TV.
Oh,
It's all good. No, I know this episode is the
Halloween
Halloween theme.
episode.
yeah. I started tripping out on like how recently like this past episode kind of tripped me out, and then I started realizing like Quicksilver from the Marvel. Oh wait, I don't know if anybody's
The
seen it,
X-Men.
so I don't know if I should be saying anything.
Thanks a lot.
Well, anyhow, did you know Mahal was in the show too? No, I'm just kidding.
By the way, from what I heard, the next
I
three
wish.
episodes.
Sorry, I'm kidding. No, I'm sorry, Mahal.
No,
From
I
what I
watched
heard-
it.
No,
I
You
was
seen
going to
it?
say, yeah, she has.
Of course I
oh, no,
have.
I feel dumb about it.
I was going to say, from what I heard, the next three, from what I heard, the last three episodes are going to be an hour long.
The last ones.
Yeah, the last three episodes will be longer.
Oh,
Then-
there's only so then they were right. Were they only going to be like 8 episodes?
I think there's 9
Is this
episodes,
one-
actually.
I thought this was
I-
the 5th episode. I think. I could be wrong.
I think I think the Halloween episode is the 6th.
I know. Yeah, I've been meaning to watch it, but I'm also too at the same time. I'm having my
Yeah.
lady watch the Marvel Cinematic Universe with me, like the phases. So right now
Yeah.
we are. Which one are we on? No, we finished Thor.
Captain
Oh,
America.
we just started Iron Man 3.
Oh,
Yeah,
We just started
They
Iron
all
Man
die.
3, and then Wow. you're lucky I muted that so she doesn't have to hear that.
No, I don't know.
I didn't
They
see
don't.
nothing.
They don't all
That
die.
was Mahal.
They don't all
No,
die
nothing.
because
You
they're
don't
in
have to hear that. You don't
another.
have to hear
They're
Mahal,
in
we're
the
good.
end game. Aren't they in the end game?
She said we went to dinner.
oh God, it's a war. It's a
What'd
war.
you say?
No, I was joking. I was like, they all die. I do that to everybody.
I didn't hear what you said.
No, I said that they all die. I'm joking
That's
though.
not-
I don't.
they
I'm
all
joking.
die. All dead.
Thanks,
I haven't
Thanos.
finished. I haven't finished.
Thank you.
everything
All
yet.
a thing of this.
No, I haven't
Not
even
even.
watched 3
Not
either.
even. Not even the
Fuck
last
you, Thanos,
one.
for taking out Star-Lord. Fuck you, Thanos.
Starscream, you
Star-Lord.
mean? They took out Starscream because he's
No, they
Lord
took.
Master
No,
Starscream.
Star-Lord.
no, they took it.
What?
No, I'm talking about Star-Lord from Guardians of the
spoiler,
Galaxy.
guys.
Yeah, that's Star-Lord.
I love
What?
Star-Lord.
why?
Why they take him out? Died.
What?
They all died?
Yeah, they get
Hey, what?
dusted in Endgame. I mean, excuse me, Infinity War. Thanos snaps
Yeah.
them out of existence with the
Yeah.
Infinity Gauntlet.
What?
Star-Lord.
Wow, my lady
Yeah,
says
Star-Lord.
What?
Yeah, Star-Lord and almost all the Guardians.
And then Doctor, what's it called?
Doctor Strange and
Yeah.
And
Falcon.
Dr. Doolittle?
Fuck.
Who's in the movie? Yeah.
I'm trying to say
Even
what?
Spider-Man.
Because there's people
Even
who probably have never seen it.
Even Spider-Man got dusted.
Again.
Yeah, Ant-Man got dusted too, right?
No, Iron Man didn't get dusted.
Ant-Man.
No,
'Cause he's
Ant-Man was
the
in the
one that had to
quantum
go
realm.
into the the time machine shit to right?
But
What are we talking about?
What?
Well,
They're
took me
to
spoiling the end
my lady
game?
took me to the end of the end game, so she said this is my last episode.
Oh,
They're spoiling the end game, but I was joking, and I told them that
you never seen that?
everybody died in episode 3 of Ragnarok. I mean,
Fuck you.
of
It's like this.
Iron
Man.
Man. Of no.
So
What are you
Infinity
watching,
War.
bro?
my lady, I just barely got my lady into watching the whole entire Marvel Cinematic Universe,
Oh,
and right now we are currently. I've seen the whole thing, so I'm good. But for her, we got her up to Iron Man 3 right now, going forward,
oh, nice.
and then that's
Is,
when all the
is Iron
publishers
Man 3
started.
the one with the kid?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Christmas
and
one,
the, yeah, and yeah,
the Christmas
and the one with the
episode of Iron Man
Mandarin.
3.
Wait,
Yeah.
The
Wait.
Mandarin, yes.
the
With
what?
the Mandalorian. That was
The
actually
Mandarin.
filmed not that far from
The
us.
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian.
What? He goes into a kid's garage or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the
the
third
kid
one?
has like a potato gun. Yeah, that's the third one.
Is that kid him or something, or who is that kid to him? Just a
Tyson,
ra-
just a random kid. And also, that kid played in Jurassic World, the first one.
Yeah,
That's
the little
I don't
brother
think-
that was all excited to go into Jurassic World the first time.
Yep.
With his
Yeah.
bigger brother. Yeah.
Yeah. Ty Simpkins. That's his name, Ty Simpkins.
Yeah, I almost got to work on that movie.
Olivia, was it?
Iron Man 3?
Yep.
By the way,
Oh, really?
you said Iron Man 3 was not shooting not far from you guys?
Yep. It was not. It wasn't.
Are
filmed
you
that
kidding
far
me?
Nope.
Ah! I need.
I got to see the
come
set.
on.
I got to see the set. I got
What?
to see. Yeah, I got to
Did
see
you
the
see-
set. I got to see what they were doing. I just couldn't.
Did you get-
I
Did
didn't
you
get.
get to see?
No,
You didn't get to see Robert Downey Jr. on set?
I did not. Gwen Capaldi,
Aw,
but
poor Iron Man.
Nikki got sick right at that time, and
Aw.
I had to decline. I had actually had the job. I was hired as being a part of the art department, and I had to decline and say I can't. I wanted so badly. Nikki wanted me to also, but I made the right choice because she needed me more than I needed that job at the time.
So is Thanos the strongest villain?
In the Marvel Universe, no.
Who's
Who is?
okay then? Who's the stronger villain then?
Oh, okay. You have
Cause
Cole.
cause from
You have Cole. You
Oh.
have Annihilus.
You mean-
You have Galactus. You have.
real quick.
Yeah.
Quick. I wanted to point this out real quick. Do you know who the next big villain is?
This should be
I
King the Conqueror.
Yes, I'm sure. I can hardly wait to see that because that's going to be and from what I heard, he's going to be the main villain in Ant-Man Quantumania.
That makes sense.
So
That's who I figure would be next. Do y'all realize that Thanos didn't want to hit? There, it was problematic, and I'll tell y'all why it's problematic. As a comic book fan, Thanos getting the Infinity Gauntlet was not to depopulate the universe, because all that would have done is that 70 or 100 years later, he's going to be right back in the same problem he is right now with population still growing, unless he stopped everybody from having babies. But the reason why in the comic book, do you want to know what his motivation for doing what he did in Endgame in the comics?
What?
why? What?
He did it for a woman. He wanted to give death.
Oh yeah, Lady
He
Death.
He wanted Lady Death to fall in love with him, so he was going to sacrifice the 2/3 of the galaxy to her. And you know who she ended up
Surprised they didn't
choosing?
put her in the movie.
Ugh.
I was too. I hope they will. I do hope they do. You want to know who she ended up
Hey.
picking?
Who?
She picked Deadpool. She
I
picked
would too.
Deadpool. She picked Deadpool over Thanos because
What?
Deadpool was created from cancer, something that was death, and he was
Death.
able to bring it from death to life, and she had never seen that before, and that's why she fell in love with Deadpool. And Deadpool was like, "No, girl, I don't want to have. I want to. You got like the
I
death."
already got my girl waiting for me on the other side.
He's like, "I know Domino."
I'm just saying.
I know. You know
I'm
what
just-
that main phrase that he would say though to Lady Death. He'd be like, "Go home, Sugar Bear."
you,
Make sure it's done like
You-
this.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
you are
Yep.
you are haunted. You look like an avocado who had sex with an older avocado.
Oh,
That
no.
was fun. That was funny.
Oh man.
That was all bad though.
Or no, what was bad whenever he sat there and they had little baby Deadpool down there.
That's
Oh,
what I was
God.
just thinking.
Legs up. and
Oh my
over.
god!
Oh,
Why is that so
shit.
good?
I can't unsee this. I was like, you might be able to cut out your eyes, but you can't cut out your mind's eye. This is my other
Um,
cat.
I've
That's
only
a big
seen that
boy
movie
right
once.
there.
Oh,
I-
Deadpool's
Have
my
you seen?
Sorry, I'm ordering stuff.
You are.
I'm just saying, real. From what I
What?
heard, the actor
Nothing.
that plays Thanos, Josh
Nothing.
Brolin. From what I heard, his contract isn't up yet, so plus he might appear in the Eternals because, if I'm not mistaken, Thanos is I think a deviant or something like that,
Look,
and
He's a Titan.
and he's one. Yeah, he's a
Titan.
Titan. Excuse me. Yeah, and so we might get to see a young Thanos in the Eternals. Plus, I am really looking forward to that movie. I'm talking about we're gonna get to see giant celestial beings the size of planets. That's gonna be and plus we're going back thousands and thousands of years where I guess technology was really advanced for those guys until it was lost.
Mhm.
And plus we're gonna find out what the Eternals were doing during the events of Endgame, and where they were, or Infinity War, excuse me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in the comic book, we're nothing to them. So I'm curious how they're going to do this because in the Marvel universe, they are the ancient gods and goddesses.
And plus,
And
I
they
think
are
it's
the-
interesting.
and they take the celestial egg and they put it inside and they create a planet. And the planet, when it comes to term, becomes one of those celestial giants. And the reason
like-
why Earth is in the center of everything is that it has a celestial egg inside of it, and that the event that the heroes coming out is its antibodies trying to protect itself.
and they go around to judge each planet, and if one planet, if the population fails, they restart everything.
or they
Yep.
could just
What?
come up with another virus. Just
Oh
kidding.
God.
But
Well, they got a movie coming out called COVID-23.
what?
Wow, Mahal.
They got a movie coming out called COVID-23.
A movie?
Yep, called COVID-23. It's already been made.
I ain't watching that shit.
COVID-23.
I don't wanna see-
Yep, and you want to know
Yeah.
what COVID we're on right now with the new COVID that just popped up?
Hold on.
9.
19, 20, 21, 22?
Where
Make it.
it's called COVID 2020.
Why would they do that?
COVID 2020.
Because of those those letters.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since you said that,
We're still in fucking Jumanji. Fuck.
Yep.
yeah. Thanks.
That's why they're
COVID.
not. That's why you don't see the 19 anymore when they say COVID on the news and stuff. They just call it COVID and it's a dash. They don't give it a number because when it mutated, that's the new number for it.
Hey
I'll have to
Otto, you
check
might
that
as
out
well.
now.
Do you know where we should all move?
Where?
Antarctica.
Why?
Oh no, I don't want to be in the
It's so
snow.
cold there that viruses can't spread.
It's also got a continent that's the size of the United States there that is completely like a jungle.
Mm. By the way, Otto, you
Antarctica
might
is
as well.
not what you think it is. Hey, did y'all ever watch that the thing of Admiral Byrd I sent y'all?
I
Oh
didn't
man. What did you send it to me on? I think I seen
Discord.
part of it. Okay, I'll have to rewatch it. Oh, I like that shirt.
You'll be surprised. Antarctica is not what you think it is.
Oh yeah, that video
Oh,
you
believe
showed
it or
me
not.
and TF Geek was reading to us or
Mhm.
translating. Oh, that was all backstage when we were watching that. Yeah, I remember that.
What is it, John? What is it?
That Antarctica could be the entryway or something, or it
To
can
the
be.
hollow Earth.
Yeah.
Do y'all know how far we've dug down into the Earth's crust?
Oh, there's
How
like
far?
3 miles.
What's that?
Actually, let
miles?
me guess. Actually, let me guess.
3 miles?
We barely. Hang on, hold on. Let me guess. We barely even scratched the surface.
Russia, back in 1984, you can look this up, was one of the ones that created the nuclear drill. It was ran off nuclear power, and it had diamond heads on it. And the deepest it went down was 7.5 feet. By the time they got 7.5 miles. By the time they got to the 8th mile, all of a sudden they hit something, and it broke the drill. And nowhere in the whole world, no one's been able to drill past that mark because they hit something that we can't cut through yet.
Not
So
even
we can't
freaking
get-
laser.
we can't get to the mantle, and we can't get past because we can't get past the crust.
Not
and-
even laser. Not
No.
even laser technology can break through that shit.
Nope.
So that's how. So what? Like the strongest ore on the planet Earth, basically.
The
Yeah,
crazy thing
that's
is that if you look in Mesopotamian text, it says that you can't get past the first layer of the earth because of the metal of the gods is there, and it's like crazy. Yeah.
A protective shell, basically.
Yeah, essentially. So it makes you wonder what's past that level.
A whole nother world.
Honestly, Otto, I feel like I'm in history class right now. I'm like,
I'm sorry.
I think
Why
we're
did I
all
miss
being
this?
taught lessons here.
I'm sorry. I was a history
I'm gonna have to
teacher.
start. I'm gonna have to like. No, it's all good. You're like, I'm gonna have to start bringing a notebook now and be like, write jot down some notes real quick.
Uh,
Now I'm waiting for you, Otto, to random just be like, all right, guys, pop quiz.
hey, join me on Wednesday nights on Autocrat Primer. We are doing a quiz bot, and it will be dealing with.
This Wednesday?
Yep, this Wednesday. No, yes, it's your place.
Okay.
Unless it's late. I have to check with the.
Sorry,
What?
I'm sorry, Mahal.
I might have to change it now because this Wednesday we're going to be at her place. We might, but that's what I was
I
going to do.
hate-
with the
Oh,
giveaway.
you're gonna give me the answers on Wednesday?
Give you the answers on Wednesday.
No. What are the
No,
questions? What are the questions at?
Yeah, what are the questions?
Fan
Actually,
Geek is-
Fan Geek's coming up with the questions, and he'll
Okay.
be asking them in the thing.
Stream?
And the ones that answers the most questions right about pop culture and about Transformers and stuff, the one that wins at the end of the night, that answers all the right questions, I end up sending this to whoever it is in the United States. So, and we're going to try to
No,
do that.
what
every
if what if you have multiple people?
to get it, then I've got multiple prizes.
Ooh, that's cute.
Yeah,
And
I've got enough for at least if I run into that issue, I got 3, and then if it's more than 3, then we would do a playoff.
Can we use the internet?
Yep.
Huh?
Yeah, this is gonna be on the internet. This is gonna be a live stream.
Yeah, but can I use it?
Can you
No,
use the internet? Oh yeah, I don't. It's like TFA Geek said. Well, the questions that he's going to ask, he says, with the amount of time, if they're able to look it up quickly, they might get the answer, but it's not going to be an answer they can find. But yeah, he's fine with us using the internet.
So wait, this about to be Transformers, and what do you mean like pop culture? Like go more depth in that, like
Anything pop culture.
What?
Yeah, anything pop culture, anything
Okay.
that could be you could be talking about. Who was the first death in Tremors? Since that's a pop movie. What actors were in Rocky Horror Picture Show? Some of them may even be what was the very first movie and TV show that Autocrat Primer worked on?
What was it? Can you tell me?
I told you on that one. I told you. Oh my god.
What is
I
it?
could give a pop quiz and I'd be like, you know what? When was the first time that Snickers put her piece of hair on my hand and the first time I met her?
What the heck? Did that?
It's just random questions for a pop quiz.
Uh,
Hold
So
on.
you like?
What is Zack
Or be like,
Snyder's
you know what?
Justice League?
Last Wednesday,
Hold on.
when did Mahal
Hold
do
on.
a sniper shot at precisely on
Are
her
you,
day
Bay Mahal?
253?
You serious?
No,
You
I'm
don't know
kidding.
what the Snyder cut is, Bay Mahal?
No.
That's Zack Snyder's vision of Justice League. The
Alright.
movie that was released in 2007. That movie is shit. That movie was not. That movie was originally directed by Zack Snyder, but
Okay.
since his daughter suicided during the making of that movie, he had to step away. Then Joss Whedon stepped in, which was a stupid idea, ruined that movie. So now Zack Snyder is back, and he's given his vision of the film on how it really should have played out. So the movie you got years ago, forget that movie. That's the movie you want to watch. That's what the
Well, there's
Snyder
a
cut
new
is.
trailer coming out.
Oh, it's out. It's out now. It came out yesterday on Valentine's Day, and it's
gonna
going to be
4 hours long.
and it's
What's
rated R.
America Tonight?
What's America Tonight?
Yeah. Oh, wrong person. I'm trying to look
And-
you up.
I can hardly wait to see the Snyder cut, and it's going to be rated R. I can hardly wait.
Art.
That's going to be interesting. What are you, hey Otto? What are you most looking forward to in that 4 hour long Snyder cut of Justice League?
Honestly, I know what it's going to be. I've already seen some of it, so I'm excited for what it will do for HBO Max. Is we'll end up getting a Green Lantern series out of it. We'll end up getting an Aquaman series. We'll get a lot of different DC series that will be spinning out of that one.
Still feel like they kind of started late on that.
Yeah,
No. When are you streaming?
I mean,
next?
they don't have much acting.
I have no idea yet. Maybe tomorrow.
I keep looking out for your stream. I don't ever see it.
I know. I've been really busy with school and stuff. Hold on, I'm still
I bet.
trying to look for something.
tomorrow.
Uh,
I'm
Otto.
No, I'm trying to get my streams going too.
yeah, I'm gonna try to get my Cyberpunk going tomorrow after I take the cats to the vet.
Otto, do you know what Angel in the Dark is?
Yeah.
Have you worked on that?
Mhm.
Why does it say 91?
Mhm.
Is that your first movie?
Because someone sent me
Yeah,
that.
research.
Angel in the Dark. I want a Star Scream.
Dang. Hey, she
You still
won
got
on
more-
Wednesday already, so FYI.
No, I'm just kidding.
Could say
Oh yeah, you won me, all right.
everything is you gonna give her nightmares, man. Why are you doing stuff
Oh
like
fuck
that?
you.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
fuck
kidding.
you. Fuck you.
I
I got
Fuck
the
you.
damn shakes from that. Damn it.
Swap my
Oh,
thing real
hey,
quick.
hey, I'm Starscream. She said she won Starscream. That's
Right?
me. Get out. I
Jimbo, you
Jimbo.
scared Jimbo so bad he left.
Oh, now he got he
Jimbo's like, damn.
got nightmares now.
He's over there shaking in the corner now. Oh God, what was that he said? My mind.
Angel in the Dark. That looks like a weird ass movie. Let me see. Click on that.
Hey
The heck?
Otto. The first
About a woman
Guardians
who
movie.
becomes a prostitute to try to save enough money to get her daughter an eye operation to cure her from blindness. She's beaten up. Where am I at?
Hey
By her
Otto.
pimp.
I was gonna say Otto. The first Guardians movie. The ending of it. Excuse me. The first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. At the end, I think it's funny when Yondu is asking to Star-Lord to hand over the orb, and I like the line that he says, "I may be as pretty as an angel, but I sure as hell ain't one." I don't know why, but that's just funny to me. And then later on in the second one, they bring that up, like when Star-Lord says that he may have not been pretty as an angel, but he had the whistle of one or something like that.
This is also in the Philippines.
What?
This show was brought also in the Philippines.
Mm.
Okay, well, it's late.
Yeah.
It's been a great stream.
You were supposed to go to bed early.
I am. That's what I want to do
I
right
think
now.
so. You guys
You
want
know how dark it is, right? Nikki's like, you are not missing your appointment tomorrow. You can stay on as long as you want, but you ain't missing it tomorrow. This is the third time we've had to reschedule. You got to wake your bald-headed self up and take
You guys want to share where they can find you? If you
can find me in the dark part of the web.
Hiding in the corner.
In the back rooms of the dark web.
Oh, where you can find me at?
You can find us on Community for All of Us. On Twitch is Autocrat Primer. Autocrat Primer. You just type in Autocrat Primer in Google, and you'll pretty much get to see almost everything that I've ever worked on and done. Because it all pulls up. And the sad thing is now it pulls up my whole name.
Oh God.
Yeah. There we go.
You can find me at YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Discord, Battle.net, Activision, at Baby Mahal 1119. Also TikTok, and also in a Community for All of Us Discord and YouTube.
All right, you guys can find me at TTV Cognitive. Soon to be Instagram and Twitch, YouTube, Discord, and the Community for All of Us Discord.
And you can find me on Instagram at Lord Master Starscream. Same for TikTok, Discord, Twitch, and Stereo. And I think that's about it. And you can find all of us at A Community for All of Us and on Autocorrect Primer also.
Jimboski too. You can find Jimbo on PlayStation at Jimboski. You can find him at my Discord and Baby Mall and A Community for All of Us and Twitch. But he doesn't really stream on Twitch, but you can follow him on Twitch. And he'll be like, "What? What's going on?"
On Twitch.
And I do live streams on Fridays and Saturdays. Unless Otto wants to do one on Saturdays, we'll do a switch off on Saturdays. And for me, I start the live streams at 7:30 my time here in Texas. So I don't know what time it would be, and that would be 8:30 for Otto there in North Carolina, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
And go ahead. Oh, and you got a stream on Wednesday up for the giveaway on the quiz
At my messy house.
And also we do
on the walls.
And also there he is. Now he can share where he can find himself. We were about to end the stream. Where
can we find you, Jimbo?
I know. I just heard that from Mahal right now.
I heard ACP was on the dark web. I had to leave quickly. Good looking.
Otto, are we gonna be streaming during Hibachi?
Oh man.
No, it's gonna be later that evening.
Okay.
Sorry, no, I had swapped my phones. I was letting my new phone charge right now, so I was using my old phone this whole time. Sorry.
I got my phone right now.
Stream's ending.
Yeah.
Where we?
Oh shoot, my bad. So I think I probably ended, huh?
Where can we find you at?
Well, the only streams I have right now, you can find me on YouTube under It's Your Boy Jimbowski, and also too on Twitch, Jimbowski, and then plus you guys can find me on Mahal's her Twitch,
Oh, God.
Discord.
My Discord.
Her Discord. and I'll be under that. So if you guys see me on there, you guys can follow me from there.
And also you can find, like I said, you can find all of us at a Community for All of Us, where Autocorrect Primer does live streams on a Community for All of Us every Monday, where we talk about topics and all that, if I'm not mistaken. And for me, we all start at 6:30 my time, and that would be 7:30 your time. Yeah.
And the
And-
Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And also, I guess next week you would like to do the next Supernatural episode. Do you think? And by the way, real quick, do you think that would be an interesting topic to talk about after the Community for All of Us show, if
I
you're
like
able
it.
to?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like
like an extra show to do after.
If anybody wants to ask questions, they could also bring up questions they could ask.
You can put it under was it after hours?
Oh yeah, late night talking with
Mhm.
audio.
Dark Night Stream.
Dark.
Dark
yeah.
Nation,
Dark
there you go.
Knight stream. I don't
Never.
know. I mean, wouldn't you think that would get mixed up with Batman, or like if it's like the late? What did you say? The after hour at the after show or something?
I am Batman.
You'd be like, Maha, what do you think of this? You'd be like, I'm just kidding.
What?
There's some drool.
Okay.
All right, guys. It's been
And-
fun.
And hope to see you guys on Wednesday, guys.
During our hibachi hour.
Oh yes. Bye, Jen.
All right. Good night, you guys.
Peace.
Have a good one.
You too.